We're going to do a 3-hour call-in show today, kind of like TFR of old. We used to have the 3-hour call-in show every Wednesday night. Of course, that ended when TFR ended. Unfortunately, the owner of the platform seemingly gave up on the world, and he gave up post Cooties 19. And I think that's honestly what happened to a lot of the great members of this community who seem to have just vanished over the years. Some of them were older, but I feel like people's will to resist or to fight the tyranny they see in the world, I feel like it's been greatly diminished. And I think Cooties 19 did have a lot to do with it. For anyone who followed me in that period, I was in my darkest days too, because it was just so frustrating to watch the cabal just easily control humanity with their propaganda and lies, and people bend over for it, and people like us get ridiculed and called names. And I remember here in Washington State, just the nonstop advertisements demonizing people like me. If you haven't gone out and got the pokey doke, you're putting people's lives in danger. And we all know that wasn't true at all. The people who got the pokey dokes put their own lives in danger, seem to become the most likely to get the cooties, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, the algorithms changed a lot too. YouTube is now full of news programming when you search for things. I mean, if you search latest news story, GematriaEffectNews, I don't pull up until page 1,000. You got to sift through every single news outlet's video first, unless you know to sort by date. And that is the trick on YouTube. If you guys don't know how to find stuff, put in your search and then do sort by date. It's the way to actually find what you're looking for, rather than YouTube clogging up your feed with everything you didn't ask for. And remember, that was all part of the Event 201 simulation. If you still haven't watched the Event 201 simulation today, again, that was the simulation for Cooties 19, the day the military world games began in Wuhan, China. But in the Event 201 simulation, they have a segment where they cover the topic of what to do about online information that goes contrary to their narrative. And they talk about outright banning those people. They go through a number of different possible solutions. And then the one they agree on in the simulation is the flood out method, where they just flood the internet and social media with what they want people to hear, drowning out those other voices. And of course, there has been a combination of that and just the outright deletion of people who speak against their narratives. But yeah, anyway, the reason I have this post up here on the screen from Nate Friedman, you might have seen 2 days ago, I addressed him in a video. He showed up in my feed for the first time ever. I'd never heard him before, and I was watching his video, and I said, oh, look at that. I mean, he's putting out total misinformation, but maybe he thinks it's true because, again, he went to likely 13 years of slave school like I did and most of us did, where we're not really told the truth, and a lot of important things from history are completely left out. So I made a video addressing what he said and how it was completely false. But now I'm realizing, because this showed up in my feed yesterday, this was the same time I was addressing him. So the same day he's showing up in my feed for the first time, he's probably showing up in a lot of people's feed for the first time. And look at what had happened in his life in that day. He had been addressed by the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And again, this is a reminder of what social media and pretty much all these big tech platforms have become. They're really just more outlets for the propaganda. And I imagine this relatively young person here, Nate Friedman, who goes around sporting the Star of David necklace, while he makes videos mocking people carrying Mexican flags, it's like he'll say, well, this is my religious group. Yeah, it's also, we all know it's the flag of that nation that we spend a lot of money on that's actively killing brown people, mostly women and children, and we're supposed to not say anything about it or it makes us bad Americans. But anyway, he's getting promoted by the algorithm. He's getting recognized by the president. Again, this is what's happened on YouTube. It's not about who creates the best, most engaging content anymore. It's who's getting pushed and who's getting censored. So what do we do about it? I mean, we know this is what it is. Is there any way to overcome this reality? I've been saying for years, it'd be nice if all of us who used to get views would work together and share each other's names and collaborate. And years ago, I was trying to say we should all do events together and get out on the streets of America on anniversary dates, like when we went from Seattle to New York for the 22nd anniversary of 9/11. I feel like that could work if everybody worked really hard and the viewers of these channels just tried to drop messages everywhere. It's like it says in my YouTube analytics that my subscribers, the most common channel that my subscribers are subscribed to is this woman named Brush Junkie. And I scroll her comments. I don't see anybody in her comment section ever talking about yours truly's work. It could be getting deleted by Google, which is highly possible. But I've now reached out to her twice, and she's responded to my comments, but so far she hasn't engaged with either of the videos I made. But I feel like these are the kind of things that need to be happening. You know, Brian, Brian and I have a history. We've only been on a stream together once at the same time, and it wasn't a positive conversation, but I've always tried to get him to collaborate despite our differences because most of our message is the exact same. We're highly opposed to the political parties, the federal government, the mainstream media. However, he seems to validate it a little bit more sometimes, which I always get curious about. And then recently I heard him talking about how he has InfoWars, some of the employees there in his phone contacts. And I've always wondered about Brian, but even if he is a shill or a half-truther, he's still, in my opinion, one of the best ones out there. And I wish, for example, he would have came out to Oklahoma City when we were there. He was obviously paying attention because as soon as I got harassed by the security at the premises, he had a video out about it within 30 seconds. And I thought, and it was funny because he said I should have been there with more people in the video. And I was like, you could have been there. I invited you to come out and offered to pay for you and your wife's hotel for a week. I offered him $1,000. And then he actually made a video making fun of it. Like, Zach offered me thousands of dollars to come out there. It's like, I didn't offer you thousands of dollars. I offered you $1,000 to get a hotel for the week we were out there. And it's like, why is that what you're doing? And he's struggling right now too. He got his channel deleted and look at his views. I mean, his views are terrible now too. He used to have 500,000 subs. Every video would have got between 100,000 and 500,000 views. Look at him now. 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 3. This is what YouTube has done to the remaining people of what you would have called the truth community. So, and now Brian's mostly focused on addressing the big name YouTubers, and it's not working. That's not a working tactic, you know. It's like, I feel like what we should all be doing is shouting each other out and helping everybody get more views. Because there's very few people left still doing good work on this platform. A lot of people have just outright quit. And I understand why. I mean, I feel like I should just quit every day too. I look at my views and I'm just like, God, I mean, it's been up for 24 hours and it just hit 1,000 views. I mean, God. So, yeah, and again, like, for example, Brian has mocked my work as well. And it's like, why do you mock my work, Brian? I mean, how many times have I taught about murder in 83 and this Carmelo Anthony obvious psyop in the news 83 days after the supposed stabbing, the first degree murder charge? How's it even a first degree charge? I thought first degree is premeditated. This is supposed to be like transpiring from a fight. So wouldn't that be second degree? Doesn't even make sense, but, or the span of 84 days. See, when Brian's made fun of my work, he'll be like, see how he does that? How he manipulates the numbers so he can get either one, but it's always in like, am I manipulating or are these facts? It is 83 days later or a span of 84 days, and it did happen on Freemasonry's birthday, and the victim is Austin, and the stabbing was on 4/2, and again, it's just, yeah, you know, the work that I've done, it's not like I really need to prove my point at all anymore because I've proven the same repetitious patterns a gazillion times, like what's going on in China today. And just the comment that has the most likes today is going that Guangxi, China doesn't equal 83 though. You know, that's the one I did just delete and ban you from the channel because I can just tell it's the troll network. You know, people say, oh, Zach bans Seals Guns. Yeah, I do ban the trolls because it gets annoying. The territory is called Guangxi, and it is what's being horribly flooded today with the 83 connection. Like the biblical flood ends in Genesis 8:3. We've talked about this 1,000 times. I just made a video a few days ago this weekend for Brush Junkie talking about when there was the horrible flooding on her native island, Hawaii, on March 8th, which can be written 3/8 or 8/3. And it was the worst flooding in 25 years, where in this case, the flood rain started to come down on the 25th, and then the devastation happened today on the 177th day of the year, going with the long history of weather control and the Jesuits. But yeah, it just, you know, it becomes aggravating when you're the content creator who gets 1% of the views they got a decade ago, and in reality, you feel like you should be getting 100 times better views. And I mean, if I get 100 times better views, I feel like we would definitely be changing the world. But it should be, because we've proven the point 100 times more since, if not more than that. So anyway, this work is invisible right now on the internet. This work almost doesn't exist on the internet right now. And it needs to. And by the way, here's the other thing. When I open up the phone lines here, if you can, like a lot of people like to leave the comment too, Zach, you think Gematria is so important, but it's just a small piece of the pie. I never hear any people say that, follow up and write what the rest of that sentence is. So what's the bigger piece of the pie I should be teaching about? The reason I spend so much time with this is because it is very interesting. It is very relevant. It is very revealing. It is very diverse in its uses, as we've proven a gazillion times as well, from the people who've changed their life by increasing their wealth through the market, sports, crypto, etc. You know, the gentleman who learned about this and watched what I did with my dead-on Bitcoin prediction the first time it just went crazy with its surge, launched a whole Gematria crypto channel, and instantly began selling like $300 subscriptions, and has quite a few subscribers. And I've never been like that. I've never charged any high value for anything I've taught. And I realize I could have. It's just I didn't get into this for money. I got into this for the right reasons. I saw that the world was going, in a very bad direction. I saw in 2012 that censorship was becoming a very real problem on the internet. Again, in 2012, that was a year before I launched my channel. That is when Google just wiped out thousands of people's videos and posts and websites that were questioning the legitimacy of pokey-dokes, and if it was connected to, you know, that thing that's become very common in children, autism, you know. Jenny McCarthy even got wiped out. And if you saw me in my earliest days too, I would always say the same point that, you know, I spent a lot of my adult life working with children. And I'd always say back then that I'd really like to have children someday, but I don't want to bring any children into this world until I see some kind of positive change. Again, you know, there hasn't been any positive change and things have gotten worse. And obviously I now have a child. There she is, the little sweetie pie. There's sound on this right now. Oh, there is. We'll take a minute and just watch little sweet girl here for a second.
Hello, Nisha. Akala. Đây, place and talu na. Jaji, no siya. Jaji bioi no siya. Kay sak chin ay nito sa no siya. Nusa. Sara. Nusara. Juju ni re. Ju. Nusa ju. Some cat ni re.
Yeah, anyway, she's a little cutie pie, and her mama's a little sweetheart. And yeah, I just, you know, I mean, it is great having a little happy child and being with her each day. But again, I still have the same thoughts I had that when I first started this channel, and even before then, when I'd say, you know, I don't really want to bring any children in this world unless I see things getting better. But ultimately, Sweet Lady and I did want a child, and we're both getting older. And again, biologically, you don't want to wait too long, because then you start really increasing the odds of problems, not only for you, but for your children. And then also, I mean, you know, you want to be there for your children as they grow up, and theoretically, you're an older parent. It's more likely there's something that's going to happen to you as well. For case in point, I'll be almost 60 years old when she's high school age. That's pretty, that's what I call a grandpa dad. But, yeah, you know, that was one of my main motivations when I started making channels, speaking out. Just like, something's got to be done to wake people up to this world and the direction we're being taken. And you look, I mean, nothing has changed the direction. It seems like a kind of force that just can't be stopped. And many people believe it is, but I'm not one of those that subscribe to that. It might seem that way, but I understand the people who are in power, they weren't always in power. and they're tricks that keep them in power. They're tricks that can be understood and people cannot participate, and then all of a sudden their power is greatly diminished. Like I always say, imagine when 2020 came around with the Cooties 19, had everybody behave like those of us in this community. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. There wouldn't have been able to be any lockdowns. It wouldn't have created all the problems that had to make them mass print money, which has created a whole new set of problems where now life is horribly unaffordable, which is what they want. And yeah, and I felt like that's part of the reason that we've been drowned out too, because we're a danger. Again, for everyone who thinks that things can't be stopped, then why do they have to censor people like yours truly? If it's just unstoppable, then why do they have to eliminate the dissenting message? The dissenting message has to figure out a way to reach more people and get out, and it's only going to happen with a massive effort from a lot of people. And I can't figure out if the majority of my viewers now are just people who are really just haters. It's like yesterday, I asked you guys, I said, if you guys could please just try this out, leave a comment as soon as the video's over. It can just be one word. You can probably do it in 10, 15 seconds. The first 30 minutes after the video posted, there were 11 comments. And when I closed the stream, there were almost 300 people watching. So that means about 1 in 30 people over the course of the next 30 minutes did it and left a comment. And I'll remind you guys, for like Travis, if you're out there, you don't want to spam 40 comments with one word. That doesn't help out the algorithm because it knows that it's one person. Just leave one comment. One comment's good. I do appreciate the effort, but I just know that that's not the way the algorithm works. So anyway, yeah, where do we go? Because this is what we're up against. We're up against the paid for agents, the Nate Friedmans of the world, who are allowed to come on here and disseminate false information that's just completely false and just mocking too. And oh, look at these losers over here with Mexican flags while I show you my Star of David. And then look, the president's even got my back. And of course, doesn't that make sense? Because aren't all his children married into the Saturday school community? But they are keeping the Sabbath day Sabbath like they're supposed to. And so would Christians had the Catholic Church not, the sun worshipers not converted everybody over to Sunday. More mockery. Anyway, let's open up the phone line here. And yeah, again, I feel like also what we have to do is we have to figure out a way to get these big name content creators to engage with this work, whether they're just trying to mock it or debate it. Is there a way to make that happen? Is there a way to make that happen? Uh-oh. All right, let me get this phone line open real quick here. Let me get it open. And I'll start taking some calls. We're going to stream until 3 p.m. Pacific. That is 6 Eastern. So we got about 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I'm just intending on taking calls. And I'm going to start off here with the top way to take the calls. But this system always starts glitching after like the 5th or 6th call. And then I got to switch it up the other way. But let's hope that's not the case. So if you guys want to phone in, it is that 509 number on the screen, 509-560-4982. Ideas on how do we get the work out? How do we make it less invisible? Again, when you guys call in for channels to collaborate with, a lot of times the calls are about channels that have between 500 and 2,000 subs. I get it. I like to help out small channels, but that's not going to help us grow the work. Who are some people that have some decent platforms who might be able to help get out the knowledge? Where are some places we could call into and get this work out in front of people, create a conversation? Do these places even exist? For people who might still listen in the shadows, who used to be supporters who aren't anymore, you want to call in and let me know what made you fall off. Was it me, or was it just you gave up on the world? What is it? What is it here? All right, we got 346. Hold on, 346. 346, what's up? 346, hello? 346, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with that call, but not a good first call. We'll If anybody else wants to phone in, he might have been on delay watching the video. When you call in, make sure you're not listening through the video because it's on delay. Just talk through the phone. It'll be in real time through the phone when you call in. Let me see here. Thank you to Exposing Feds. Shout out Margot. Appreciate that. First super chatter. Thank you for the 2. What's up, 719?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hey, I did remember the intro you were talking about? Well, I did, but I did another intro. Maybe you need to put it in a rap form. Maybe when you want to engage with the younger people, in the rap, in some type of song or some shit like that.
Sure.
Well, I made one. It's on my channel. If you want to check it out.
Okay. Yeah. What is it?
So flip-flop topics. It's going to be on the shorts. It's going to be the first one. I barely did it like maybe not even 45 minutes ago.
Let me see. Flip-flop topics, channels. I'm trying to see if I can find your channel here.
Yeah.
What's your avatar look like?
It'll say flip-flop topics. It's one word. Flip-flop topic is one word.
All right, let's try it again. Okay, I think I got it.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be on the short.
Yeah, this is definitely it. Here, I'll play it.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
1, 2, 3. It's a numbers game. Letters got weight, numbers don't lie. Truth in the code, hidden in the sky. TV loud, but the math stays still. Gematria reveals what they try to kill. They spin the news and they twist the scene. Propaganda drip like an ivy stream. Fear on repeat, same old drill. Peep the numbers though it's a silent kill. Truth that they count, not the sound. Gematria live what they've been drowned. They sell you lies, dress the ass clean, but the code shows you what they really mean. And name ain't just what you hear, it's a map that echoes through the year. The master plan, blur the sight. Numbers expose what's in the night. No cap, this game is too old. They write it in ink, but the map too bold. You wanna wake up? Learn the code. Gematria, the map where the lies unfold. Truth in the count, not the sound. Gematria live what they've been drowned. They sell you lies. Dress the ass clean, but the code shows you what they really mean. Gematria. It's easy as ABC 1, 2, 3. It's a numbers game.
If you want to call back, were you inspired by Ice-T? That took me back to the early 90s West Coast rap era. The lyrics were completely on point. Well done. We've had a few rap submissions over the years. That was a very good one. I might have to start playing that for the intro. Well done. Thank you very much. Flip Flop Topics. What's up, 905? 905. Hello.
Oh, hi, Doc. It's Marilyn from the True North. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Great. Congratulations for being a pa. Isn't it great being a dad?
It is. Indeed it is. Thank you.
I just wanted to say, have you ever thought about collaborating with another guy who does exactly what you were doing with respect to Gematria by the name of Tom by Numbers?
What's the name of it?
Tom by Numbers.
Tom, like T-O-M?
He's Irish. T-O-M. T as in Tom.
Tom Numbers. Psych Club?
Tom by Numbers.
I'm trying to find him right now. When I search that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's a great following.
Is he on YouTube or a different platform?
Yes, it's great following. Pardon?
Is he on YouTube or a different platform?
both. He's on YouTube, and he's pretty heavy on X, but he has his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, Tom by Numbers isn't coming up as any channel. Top of Your Game with Tom Numbers is.
Okay. What I'll do is as soon as I hang up, it's long distance for me to call you. I'll hang up and then I'll just put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
take it
care.
easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And that's the thing too. YouTube makes it so some people's channels just do not come up. Like they just stay hidden. 501.
Okay.
What's up, 501?
Right. Hey, Zach. Hey, I'm a big fan of yours. I always watch you. You know, you keep me updated on what's going on. But I will say this. All of this was going on, is nothing more than a big loop. I done seen this pattern go at least 12 times. So, hey, keep up the good work, y'all.
Hold on. What exactly are you specifically talking about?
All of this stuff that's going on with Israel, Iran, the Ukraine and Russia. I mean, you can go back as far as 1991, if not earlier. It's been the same song ever since. Big country, little country, trying to take the oil. Right? It's all about politics here. These people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just for the simple fact that people like you, you know, they can actually really catch it early, put it out there, so everybody else can actually really catch up with it. I talk about it sometime from time to time on my channel, but, you know, for the most part, I leave it to the experts. I leave it up to people like you that can actually really break it down a hell of a lot better than I can. So just keep up the good work, my guy. I share your videos on my Facebook pages. I put the word out. I just want to let you know that.
I appreciate that. The one thing I'd say is, yeah, this is definitely a ongoing story, but the thing that I think is a little bit different about this point is just Netanyahu returning on Albert Pike's birthday, again, who wrote the letter about 3 world wars to come, and the third one being centered on political Zionism. I feel like it's coming to a bigger climax than it's ever reached before. So I feel like the story is an ongoing evolution.
I mean, because I did a comment on one of your clips a couple days ago when I actually really said that World War III had already happened, you know, in reference to the Cold War, a fight to prevent a fight, you know. So then you hit me back, but, you know, I just look at it like, if you fighting to prevent a fight, that's a war. So everybody going around holler about World War III. Actually, like, I'll probably add a couple more wars on that. Then if you want to call this latest and greatest one World War III, then hey, by all means. But I've seen this way too many times. You know, it's all about money. It's all about politics. This is what you know. That's why I always tune into your channel. I share your posts. I try to tell everybody here in Little Rock, Arkansas about you. Honestly, if I thought that you could, you'd come to Little Rock, Arkansas, man. Put these people on game, dog. Like, seriously.
I would like to come through that part of the country. That's the one region I haven't been to. Well, I was in New Orleans. That's technically the Southeast, but I've missed the rest of that area outside of New Orleans. So, yeah, I would like to do that at some point. And
yeah, because like I said, you know, I can only say so much, right? But, you know, considering, I mean, you've been in this for a pretty good while, right? You know, just come through, you know, say what you got to say. I mean, hell, you know, because I come support.
What are the streets of Little Rock like? Are there people out on the streets of Little Rock, Arkansas? If I go out there on the weekend, are there a lot of people walking down the street?
Man, they you know, they doing this whole Kings protest here in Little Rock, Arkansas. You know,
they did that nationwide, right? They even out here they had a Kings protest in this little small town. But I mean, on a regular, not just, I go out there on any Saturday. Are people still going outside, or is it dead like a lot of places
Yeah,
are
they
post
pull like this,
cooties?
pull like this, pull like this. If you know, if they not walking the streets, they up at the state capitol, they doing signs on the freeways, you know, the overbridges. I mean, like honk if you want Trump and impeach. I mean, they doing anything and everything to try to get this guy out of office. So, I mean, so it's real down here. It may not be as big in other cities and other states, but they try to do the best they can to actually really get their word out. But I just think that sometimes they really don't know what the hell they're talking about. You know, they just want this guy out of office. So hey, it is what it is. So,
Okay.
So then, like I said, if you can come down, hey, look, I'll show up and nobody else will. So, but people really want to know the truth, man. So, hey, look, if you can come down, come down.
All right. Well, it's not going to be anytime soon with the little one, but when I do get back out on the streets, I do owe a trip through the Southeast. I still would like to make a whole lap around the country. So I'll remember that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, let's see. All right, now. Yep.
Yeah, you have a good day. So the channel she was trying to call in about, she did leave it in the chat. Tom Numbers Psych Club, aka Tom Sidney Bushnell. He's been doing Gematria on YouTube since the middle of 2020. So be interesting to learn where he learned from. I imagine somehow if he didn't learn from yours truly, he learned from somebody else who learned from me, because there wasn't really anyone doing this on the tube in 2013 when I showed up. 346.
Hey, can you hear me this time?
Yeah, but you got like hiss coming through your phone.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, have you heard of the Red Circles Club at all?
Circles
the nine yeah, sometimes they call it like the Red Shoe Club or the Nine Circles Cult.
I don't know.
You never heard of that?
No, I'm looking it up. Red Circles Club.
Usually they call it the Red Shoe Club. It's part of the Pope and the Queen and everything. Let me get some more clear.
Okay.
It's connected to like the Archons. Have you heard of the Archons?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Like basically like if you go down the rabbit hole, it ties into like the Epstein stuff and all that type of stuff.
Okay.
Like the real reason why they do that.
Okay.
And like how the Archons and like you know like the movie It's by the original one from the 80s. That one ties into what the Archons are and why they feed on what they do. I'm not gonna say like just to protect the channel or whatever, but you never heard of any of that?
Well, I've heard of the theory about the Archons, but the red circle thing is new to me. When I Googled it, it came up as John Wick, so I'll have to do more research.
Yeah, anything that you see like the red shoes, like you'll see it pop up. It all ties into the same thing, including why clowns and the Archons are linked in, and like the DMT fucking elves and all that shit. It's all the same fucking thing. It's like they wear red shoes because that's the color of their shoes after they do what they do. So it's kind of like a nod to why they do that.
Okay.
And like the whole adrenochrome, all that type of stuff. Like they're pretty much feeding in the physical and in the spiritual. So the entity, the archon inside of the individual is feeding as well as the human. So like if you ever see that Denzel Washington movie, it's called Fallen. It kind of explains how an archon like goes from body to body. It's kind of crazy, but like all these movies kind of like touch on specific little things, and it all ties in as long as you just keep like looking.
It's a movie's about a demon, and if the demon's in you, it move on to the next person if the person who has it touches you. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Like that's how pretty much it does it, but yeah, like it runs through specific like the bloodlines or whatever because they're not connected to anything. in specific. So like, they're really just like, they can't move on from this material plane. So they're stuck here. So that's why they lower the vibrations of everybody else, just to be able to keep on feeding off of us and not be able to transcend to like heaven or the next plane, whatever viewpoint you're looking at from. They're stuck here. So if you look at the archons and like the Enochian Bible and all those lost documents, is kind of the same thing. But yeah, man, like any of those movies, like they'll pretty much give it away.
Okay.
Yeah, like most of the stuff they push out, whether it's like the World War III, the Israel stuff, all that stuff is just them being able to feed off of us, like us giving a reaction. So that's why like the psyop of them making quote unquote reaction channels and all that stuff, they push that out. So people just become subconsciously more reactive, and henceforth being easier to be able to feed off of that. With all the if you know anything about like the symbols, like all the major religions have one symbol in common, and that's like the Saturn worship, with the cross being able to be folded up and turned into like a black cube, of course, along with the black cube, and then the hexagon in Judaism. So if you look at all the symbolism, it all just lines up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it's just so much, but like, you know, it might sound crazy, it might not. It just depends on if
no, it doesn't.
do the research.
You're not saying anything I haven't heard before. I mean, these people do feed off negative energy. It's just like they put out the show Monsters Inc. right after 9/11 happened, and it's a cartoon, and then it shows the whole lineup of monsters coming out with a big clock behind them on 9/11, and the whole thing's about how these monsters feed on scaring people, and that is a big part of it. But I wouldn't say the word just, that's just what it's about, because what they do does shape the world and the world that we live in it, and there are consequences, no matter how made up their stories are and exaggerated they are. There are real consequences that change the quality of life for everybody. So it's not just fear-mongering. It's also these stories do change the world we live in, no matter how big the lies are. And that's why people have to realize that and stop submitting to their lies and their fear-mongering and their agendas, and change the game. So anyway, I appreciate it, man. I'll look more into the red shoes thing. Thank you.
Man.
All right, take care.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do think also there have been major wars in the past that have taken a lot of people's lives. So they definitely could institute another massive war, and it could be unprecedented. Don't forget the Deagle thing. The military intelligence website said that at some point in 2025, there's going to be a massive population decline. Yeah, what's up, 917?
Yeah, your video earlier about the China flood was on point. You hear?
I'm listening. Yeah, just another example of weather warfare by the same old numbers. Indeed.
Yeah, just on point, man. A lot of people need to check that out. Also, the word flooding equals 46, and it's 46 days till HARP's found, till pretty much August 11th, the day HARP was founded.
How many days did you say it was?
46. Flooding equals 46, right?
I'm just thinking 4 days to the end of the month, 31 to the end of July. That's 35. 15 more days to August 15th.
August 11th.
Or wait, my bad. August 11th, the HARP anniversary. I sorry, I thought you said the Jesuit Order's birthday. Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Flooding equals 46, and it's 46 days to the day HARP was founded.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
Pretty interesting. I mean, August 11th leaves how many days left in the year?
Well, I know it's the 223rd day of the year, like natural disasters 223, so it must be the day leaving 142 days.
And what's the acronym stand for? Higher Rural Free. It equals 223, right?
Yeah, it does. What HARP stands for equals 223 as well. Correct.
Yeah, so I think it was a hit, military hit, you know?
What do you think it is that there's probably about 50 channels on YouTube that cover the topic of bizarre weather phenomenon, flooding, fires, and none of them talk about gematria? Why do you think that is?
Bro, like, yeah, you could just pull it up on your old website, the whole breakdown of HARP. Like,
I know, and all this
how can somebody
again,
do
my
that?
book about this is almost a decade old now, and you don't have anybody who's looking into weather warfare talking about this.
On the old website, man, it's like, what are you denying? Like 232 days left in the year, 118, like death equals 118. Like, you understand?
I'm definitely well aware. And remember, they were showing how you can look up my post from what they did on August 11th after Lahaina burned up. Hold up, I'll just pull it up right here. On the anniversary of the HARP patent, they did this. Hold on.
Yeah, I think they got some stuff. I think they got some stuff planned, man. I hope people watch out, man.
Every single home in Lahaina is gone. This was August 11th, 2023. And that was the anniversary of the HARP patent on the 223rd day of the year. It's like straight up mockery.
Yeah, like, you know, who knows what they got planned coming up? Earthquakes, flooding, whatever, you know, because like you said, the 2025, 25, it's just crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But,
fires 25. I think it's gonna be a bad summer for fires.
Oh, great work, man. I hope people wake up, man. I hope you're working on that book, man. For real, like, I guess if you're not gonna do no more, if you're gonna slow down on the streams and just I guess get the book out.
That's something I've been debating on. Is it time to just take a break from YouTube live streaming and use this time in the day to see if putting out the books does make a difference? I just worry that I'm gonna end up spending a lot of money on the books and time and just, you know, it'll be a net
honest,
loss.
I was kind of on the earlier show I was upset because the kid, he was like, he got off the Patreon. He only comes during football. Like, that's why he should stay on all year round, you know?
Yeah, and
like,
again,
for people like that,
I think from now on when he calls
like
in too,
that,
I'll just ignore the phone calls because nobody likes when he calls in either.
Listen, people like that, they need to get charged 20.
Yeah,
they need to get that. They need to get the bump.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah,
for real.
I hear it. I hear it.
Anyway, but thanks a lot. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot, Zach, for everything.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you. But yeah, again, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's been going on in the world for a long time. This is in my book from forever ago. The HARP patent dates the 223rd day of the year. Technology that can influence the weather. Again, they're using more than HARP to create these storms. But yeah, this is what was on the front page of CNN on the anniversary of the HARP date. And remember, HARP, the acronym. There's more about the HARP thing. The patent dates a date with a life lesson number of 44, like HARP in military is 44, and so is earthquake, has the power to quake the ground. Remember, Maui also has that 44, and Maui's 44 and 64, like kill, and Joe Biden showed up to talk about the fire on Hawaii's 64th birthday of the state, and 44 and 64 also connect with Obama's wingman, who's supposedly from Hawaii. But yeah, this is the anniversary of that destruction. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't a single other person on YouTube that covered this. And why not? Why is this woman who's looking for answers, why is she ignoring us? I mean, now 2 times she's seen that I made a video and then just no follow-up. It just blows my mind how people, this information just doesn't resonate with them. And it makes me just feel like everybody is like, I don't know, just got to be under a spell. I don't know how else to explain it. This channel that's recommended, maybe he does his titles like this because he's found this is a way that he doesn't get censored, but his titles don't have a whole lot of meaning, so maybe I should try just doing stupid titles like this and see if it helps out the channel. He's definitely gotten better views than yours truly has in the last year. I haven't had a single video get this many views in the last year, so. But yeah, apparently he is doing Gematria too. Started it in 2020, so I never heard of him before. I'll have to check it out. Here, real quick, short decode of his. I'm curious what his work looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. I don't want to do that because that's going to get copyright. Anyway. Gematria Sense, thank you for your generosity. We're taking a call and then I'll read out Gematria Sense's super chat. I do appreciate that. 210, what's up, 210?
210. Love that. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so this is in-game.
210, hello? Hello? 210, if you can hear me, somehow you dropped out. I cannot hear you. Yeah, his call definitely dropped. Feel free to call back in. For some reason, we lost you. Buzzing in the U.S. right now. Details emerge of U.S. proposals for Iran nuclear deal. Again, Team America World Police, the only nation who's ever dropped nukes on anybody, the nation who funds Israel, the greatest violators of the Geneva Conventions. Who's Iran been bugging nonstop for the last 70-some years? Israel's been making war with everybody. Again, you just say, like, from what standpoint is it that they should be able to tell anybody what to do? These are the biggest violators of sovereignty and world peace, and they're telling others what to do? Crazy. What's up, 505?
Hey, Zach, I think this is my first call without being on the sport, so I'm pretty happy.
All right, thanks for calling in, High-Hand Dave. What's up?
Did you see the story today about the power grid? July 7th has that 188, 177.
Yeah, and today is the day leaving 188 days left in the air that they have this up. Trump's energy chief warns U.S. grid reaching its limit. Is this one we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
I just felt, I thought it was pretty, it's pretty significant that they do this on the 177, 188 thing, like July 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. The Jesuit order, today's the 177th day of the year, the Jesuit order 177, cyber attack 188, today leaves 188 days left in the year. It's a lot like July 7th coming up, which is the more intriguing date to me because Israel's 77 right now, and we know how big 77 is with the U.S., with the capital on the 77th meridian. I think the word power is 77 as well. If the power goes out, yeah, it is. Power is 77. So
there's a warning to everybody out there. Have your stuff ready. They did this story today on this date for a reason. So everybody be prepared.
Yeah. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst.
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate that, Dave.
That's all I need to tell you. Yes, sir. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Okay. Yeah, just, Team America World Police. And really just a big bully if you really just think about it. The only nation who's ever dropped nukes, so the story goes. Again, like, how does that give you the authority to tell what other nations can't have nukes? Especially when the United States of America has been the nation really threatening Iran for decades. All the presidents calling them the axis of evil and, threat to Western civilization. Those are fighting words. What's up, 210?
Yes, hey, Zach. Meant to call back. Believe we got disconnected. But I just wanted to call and let you know this is in-game exposure. I called in a handful of times in the past. And, you shouted my Instagram out a lot in the past as well. And I appreciate that. The account's slowly growing, but surely, but slowly. But I just wanted you to check out this one Instagram account that I thought was pretty intriguing. He goes by Gematria Book. And basically, he kind of like dedicates his 4 channel towards like a potential, the next 9/11. So some of us think it's going to be the power grid going down, and then like a handful of us think that it's going to be the attack on the Golden Gate Bridge. And I feel like this right here, like growing up, like, I was only a kid when 9/11 happened. So like, I'm really starting to see like the puzzles come together about how it can go forward, and the next 9/11 possibly being the Golden Gate Bridge, and his account has a lot of great information, even from what you said, how Trump's 79 years old, gold's the 79th element on the periodic table, silver's 47. That's what, silver's the 47th element on the periodic table. And gold and silver is essentially God's money. And XRP has a lot to do with this too, because they refer to it as a bridge currency, bridging, the financial institution together, digitally. And they're located out there in San Francisco as well. And then Pope Francis, how he ties in with it is undoubtable, and the new Pope as well, Pope Robert Francis Prevost. And I just want to hear your thoughts. Have you done any research on the Golden Gate Bridge and how that could potentially be the next 9/11?
Yeah. Yours truly created a lot of viral content on the internet in 2018 talking about how Tisha B'Av fell on this very interesting date connected to San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge in history, because the Golden Gate's also part of Temple Mount. And the primary thought was that something big was going to happen in Israel on August 11th, 29. Wait, was it 2018 or 2019? It was 2019. It was August 11th, 2019. And something terrible did happen at Temple Mount that day. The Israeli police fired tear gas all over the Muslim worshipers. It was a big day of worship for Islam. And that was my main focus. And I said, it is possible you see something at the Golden Gate that day as well in San Francisco. And you know what? There's actually a Golden Gate also off the coast of Taiwan. There was the major Taiwan protest crackdown that day as well, if you remember that, where their riot police were tear gassing their people. There's a Golden Gate right by there as well. And there was a story out of San Francisco that day, but it wasn't the bridge. It was the Golden Arches, a shooting at a McDonald's, and I believe it was on Golden Gate Avenue or something like that in the Bay Area. But what was annoying is a whole bunch of people mimicked my work, but they ignored the Israel part, and they only focused on the bridge. And then, everyone's like, oh, what about all this hype for something to happen on the bridge that day? I was like, you guys missed the primary point, that something was going to go down at Temple Mount that day because of Tisha B'Av, which it did. But yeah, there's a lot of predictive programming for something massive to happen with the Golden Gate. And I was talking about it earlier this year with the whole steel thing. Because, of course, the steel at the Golden Gate is for the bridge was made from Bethlehem steel out of Pennsylvania. And I was talking about how the Super Bowl this year is in San Francisco. And you obviously weren't watching my stuff at the beginning of the year, because I said Rodgers might end up on the Steelers. I was talking about this because he's from the Bay Area. And
I remember that.
Yeah, if you type in, hold on, what's the acronym for this year's Super Bowl in Roman numerals? It's L. God, I can't think. I think right now how to do the Roman
But
numerals.
also Pope Francis being buried on the 60th anniversary of the Church of Satan, and that's where Super Bowl 60 is in San Francisco.
I just want this is what I want to show people is just Pittsburgh and the Super Bowl this year. Interesting, because Trump went to the Steelers game last year. The Super Bowl this year, again, the Roman numerals LX have triple overlap with Pittsburgh. And we were talking about this again at the very start of the year. And I said, Rodgers could end up on the Steelers from the Bay Area. And he is on the Steelers now, and he went there by the numbers. So I'm going to continue to follow this narrative. But yeah, it does remind me of the bridge and all the steel from Pennsylvania. So anyway, go ahead.
Yes. And then, like I had mentioned, Pope Francis was also buried on the 60th anniversary in of the Church of Satan. That's where the Super Bowl 60 is. And then the Pope Leo, being from Chicago, where Anton LaVey is, and that's where he founded the Church of Satan in San Francisco. So it's just adding up to this huge catastrophic event. Do I think it's probably going to go down this year? Possibly, just because it's the year of the snake. And it's as chaotic as it has been the whole entire year, I do feel like they do got something up their sleeve for sure. Especially since the Iran and Israel thing, kind of gives that confirmation, they're already planting the narrative.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, sir. But anyways, man, thank you so much for taking my call. Look forward to calling in more.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Thank you to Noble HSX. Gematria since chipped in a big 20 a few minutes back and said fitness coach Tyler Wall died in the midst of recording a video with Mr. Beast. Remember Mr. Beast at the beginning of the year? It was announced on the 47 date numerology when Beast equals 47 that he was engaged to a woman who's the author of the book The Marked Children. Again, this stuff, and they're putting mainstream out articles about this. Mr. Beast, Marked Children. It's like, how don't people see it? The Mark of the Beast, people that are targeting children. But looks like this guy died at 38. I'll finish reading the message. We're getting calls here, but I'll look up this one too. I appreciate that, Gematria Sense. What's up, 531?
What's good, Zach? Just calling in. A couple of days ago, I left a comment on your Iranian cyber attack video. I don't know. I think YouTube might have deleted it, but I had just left a link to a TikTok I had uploaded like 4 years ago, June 26, 2021, I believe. It might be 2020, but Nebraska's unemployment website had got cyber attacked on June 26th, and it just matched up perfectly with the 188 and the 177 stuff. I'm going to re-comment on that video again, so it's right at the top with the link. It's a pretty good decode on the cyber attack that happened in Nebraska a few years back.
Okay, but yeah, cyber attack on the day, leaving 188 days left in the year when cyber attack equals 188.
Yep, and they actually called it a cyber attack as well a few years ago. I'll leave a comment again.
You're going to leave it in the live chat? That's what you're saying?
No, I'll leave it on your Iranian video, so it's right at the top in the comments.
Okay, just realize
So
if
you
you
can
leave a
click on the
link,
link.
YouTube kind of shadow bans anybody who leaves a link. So if you can just like leave a description so people can find the video. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I left the link the first time, and now the original comment is not there, so I get it.
Okay.
All right. But yep, I had a real good decode. I'll try to get it in the live chat.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I see this is a buzzing story about the fitness coach connected to Mr. Beast, Tyler Wall. And Gematria Sense says he died at age 38. As we know, death, murder, killing, RIP, they're all 38. Remember, Gematria, English, Kabbalah, energy, they're all 38. Nation's capital's on the 38th parallel. Pentagon, 38. The nation's killing department. Tyler Wall equals 38. Here, let's just fact check it as we go. Tyler Wall, yeah, 38, most pure. Also 115 like killing, 38 and 52 like Kabbalah, like Gematria. Yeah, again, imagine that instead of Mr. Beast is the most famous thing on YouTube, imagine Gematria is the most famous thing on YouTube. You think the world's a different place? Mr. Beast isn't doing anything other than entertaining people, which people already have too much of. What if knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge, was the number one thing going on the internet? How much different would the world be? And then a lot of money's raised off this, of course. And where's the money really go to? Yeah. This was posted on Freemasonry's birthday. Ah, okay. They saved it for Freemasonry's birthday. Go figure. Mr. Beast has paid tribute to a coach who died during the course of his most recent challenge. The world-famous YouTuber uploaded a new video on Saturday titled Lose 100 Pounds, Win 250,000, following his friend Majdi, who is challenged to lose 100 pounds in a year. Majdi is helped in the video by a fitness coach named Tyler Wall. However, in the video, Mr. Beast's team shared that Wall, who was 38, unexpectedly passed away around 80 days into the challenge. Now, around 80 days is interesting because, look at this. June 24th, 25, we had 55 date numerology, right? Satan equals 55 forwards, 80 in reverse. So June 24, 25, 55 date numerology, around 80 days. Mr. Beast, the Beast is associated with Satan. Baphomet has the 80 connection as well. Bavarian Illuminati, which was plans to infiltrate Freemasonry, has the 80 connection. And yeah, I got to be honest. I have never watched a Mr. Beast video to date. Obviously, I think we're all aware of his name. We know that the way he spells Mr. Beast has the 666 Sumerian like computer and internet. And yeah, just the video, January 1st, 2025 was the date with 47 numerology. That was the day the headline broke that he was engaged to the author of The Marked Children. So in this year, I don't remember in the past covering, we have covered some stories connected to Mr. Beast by the numbers, but I don't remember any deaths. How old is he right now? Not that old of a guy. And again, this is all part of the American dream, right? Promoting these YouTubers who make millions of dollars a month off ad revenue, like Mr. Beast. What's the young black kid who barks while playing video games, who's one of the biggest content creators on the platform? Pretty much all he does is bark and play video games. Gets paid millions of dollars a month in ad revenue. Mr. Beast is 27. Oh, the high ritual number. What day did this death happen? Hold on, we got a phone call first here, coming from Canada. What's up, 778?
Hey, just wanted to bring some attention about the Rogers Steelers receivers. There's a Calvin Austin drafted recently, but they also traded for DK Metcalf. So Austin Metcalf just tying into the Carmelo Anthony story.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
That's all. Thanks for taking the call.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, news and sports, it's always connected if you're paying attention, if you're connecting the dots. X, YouTube, and Reddit have all been flooded with posts as social media users speculate over Wall's cause of death. Much of the speculation is... Here, I'll remind you guys what another 38 is. Here's another 38 word that fits right in. Or God, maybe I'm tripping. Poison has the overlap with murder and killing. I was thinking it had the 38. I feel like there's a word related, though, that I'm overlooking right now. There is another 38 word in the death category that ties in. All right. Well, I try to remember that. Let's... Oh, Wall died on February 18th. Now, funny true story. I used to get a lot of weird mail when I lived in the Seattle area. I always just got weird mail in my mailbox. It hasn't really continued as I've moved out of Seattle. But I got a thing that said, I will die on February 18th. And at the time, I didn't know about this cipher, which was on the Writing the Beast website. That's where I originally learned it. But death equals 218. And it's also the anniversary of Martin Luther. Martin Luther passed on that day in history, 218, who led the Protestant Reformation. Remember, Holy Roman Empire is 218. But yeah, I got this thing in the mail that said, I will die on February 18th, and it didn't specify that year. It just said, I will die on February 18th. If I ever die on February 18th, just remember I was warned about that, like probably back in 2014, 2015. So that day does have a 218 connection, like death equals 218. And again, one of the oldest gematria calculators on the internet is this website, Writing the Beast. And I remember when I'd promote this, I'd always get the Christian trolls. They're like, Zach's promoting Writing the Beast website. I'm like, well, I'm not really promoting the website. I'm just saying that it has a gematria calculator. And it only has a few ciphers on there. Or at the time it did. And I think it's this cipher right here. Yeah, it's this cipher. Just that's the first cipher they have on their website when you go there by default. So somebody showed me that, and I said, huh, that's interesting. That is interesting. So he died at 38 on 218. And that is the 49th day of the year, and 49 ties in the system we usually look at. The Revelation in the most pure cipher is 49. The beast, is tied to Revelation. And what day is his birthday? May 7th? Let's just see how that lined up. From his birthday, May 7th, the 127th day of the year. What's that mean? It leaves 238 days remaining. 238 plus 49 is what? 287? So it must have been 41 weeks after his birthday. Hold on, we got another call. 859.
Hello.
Hello.
Zach,
Yeah.
I know this is probably kind of obvious, but it's the W scripted, just like
Hold
NBA.
on. The phone's finally go. Hold on. Sorry, the phone went to the glitch on your call. It's not your fault. It just starts doing it. I got to switch the audio setting. All right, go ahead.
Is the WNBA and this Caitlyn Clark stuff, is that all scripted too?
Yeah, of course it is. Caitlyn Clark equals 113, made her WNBA debut 113 days after her birthday. Didn't you just see what we just showed about what the Fever and Sonic or the Storm did in connection to the NBA Finals?
I guess I missed it.
Yeah, just watch the stream. Just go watch the stream on what they did in the WNBA, paying tribute to the NBA Finals.
All right, man. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care. Yeah, we hit some nice big upsets the other night in the WNBA. He's obviously not on Patreon. Last night, when Minnesota just got upset as a 10.5 point favorite, they fell to 5-2 away the other day. Minnesota was a 10.5 point favorite and got upset. They fell to 5-2 away. Minnesota 52, hosted Super Bowl 52. They do the same thing with the WNBA. They do with all these other sports leagues. It's all scripted. All right, so Wall died exactly 41 weeks after Mr. Beast's birthday. And 41's interesting because the Jesuit suppression lasted 41 months. This country was formed in that time. That's the big USA number. 41's the 13th prime. What's the guy's name again? Who died? Hold on, I got to close some tabs. I got too many things open. Can't find the tab I actually want. Is it Tyler Wall? Tyler Wall. Oh, you see how Tyler equals 80 and 55 as well? I was just saying how they put out the story saying he died about 80 days into the challenge on the 55 date numerology, going with Satan and Mr. Beast. Okay, Tyler Wall. We saw the 38. Wall's also 48, like Freemason, like it was Masonry's birthday. Mr. B says that 48 too. James Stephen Donaldson's also 80, the full name of Mr. Beast. James Donaldson's got some interesting numbers. There's what is 47? I bet there's something to the 41, though, for it to be exactly 41 weeks, beyond it just being an important number to this nation. I bet there's something to this story I'm overlooking. Again, we talked about the 80 Illuminati connection. The Illuminati's big with the 13. He died in Greenville, North Carolina. $559.
Jack, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's going on?
Gotta know something real quick. Okay, the Carmelo Anthony situation that has progressed. Now, I'm going to ask a basic question. I just have to know this. Okay, going back to the beginning, I know you did the breakdown on Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, and his connection to this. Now, it is true. I have never heard of another person named Carmelo Anthony. But I do understand that if there's a famous person, you know, people of that generation might say, okay, I'm going to name my kid after that guy. Do you think that that's possible, that could have happened when it comes to that? Or is this entire thing scripted to the T, and that's how they are able to...
What year did Carmelo Anthony win the championship with Syracuse? Because that's when he became a celebrity.
2002, I believe, or it was 2002 or 2003.
So he would have been born then after Carmelo Anthony did that, because he was 17 years old, like we call the NBA the 17 League. Yeah, that's what I said too. I mean, I made that point when I initially talked about this. Is it possible to think that this kid is a... Remember, have you heard me talk about the show Utopia? Have you heard me talk about this show?
I haven't heard it.
Okay, so everybody should watch the show Utopia. First, it came out in the UK in 2013, but then Amazon remade it and released it in 2020 when we were all on lockdown. And the plot of the show, it was the perfect re-release during the time of the scamdemic. It's about billionaires faking a pandemic so they can depopulate the world through pokey-dokes. But there's all these other subplots in it, and one of the plots is the billionaires are raising children to use for psychological operations and news stories for all kinds of different things, including they're raising mass shooters for schools. But again, imagine that they raised a Carmelo Anthony to have him do this, synced up with the Carmelo Anthony basketball star being nominated to the Hall of Fame, since they happened on the exact same day. Is that possible? I would say it's possible.
I would say it is too. It's just such a trip, man, that when I look at it like that, okay, do you believe that he went about his life unknowingly and this was staged around him, or are all these people actors playing a part?
It is possible that they're unknowingly, because the children who are used in the show, they don't exactly, it's just their life is what their life's always been, and then they're activated to do these things. Or in one case, so in one of the things in Utopia, they have these twin sisters, and they want to use they get one of the twins really sick to show her on TV how sick she is because they want to promote this miracle drug. And then they kill her, and then they just bring the other twin sister on who's perfectly healthy, and they say, see how fast she recovered, to promote this to the people, to say how great this drug is. That's one of the things they do in this show. And it's like, God, this show is really messed up. And the fact that Amazon remade this just in time for the lockdowns, I mean, talk about total mockery.
When did the first one, Utopia, when did it first appear? Not the Amazon version.
It came out in the UK and the United Kingdom in 2013.
And that plot was what you just described. They were psychologically doing the
the shows are it's a remake. So what's interesting is if you watch both versions. So the UK version runs 2 seasons, and then the US Amazon remake is all in 1 season. It's kind of like if a crime happened and you got the story from 2 different people. It's obviously the same story, but a little bit different accounts and a little bit different details here and there. But it's fundamentally the same thing.
Man, like everything that you're saying, everything makes so much fucking sense. But I'm still struggling with, like, goddamn, these people.
Well, have you ever seen the old school movie? And they remade it in Hollywood about 20 years ago, The Manchurian Candidate?
Yeah, of course. I remember I watched the old school one with Frank Sinatra not too long ago. That's pretty. It was a very interesting movie.
It's along the same lines. It's along the same lines. Controlling these people, controlling their minds, to use them for their political agendas. See, that's another thing that happens in the Utopia show. Another scene is you see this man who looks like a regular family man. He's a mechanic, and he's got a wife and children. And all of a sudden, he gets a phone call, and it's like some weird buzzing code into his ear. And then he just becomes a homicidal killer, just killing all these people in public. He's not one of the raised children, but it's just another plot line. So it's like, oh, so they got people like this too, that just when they get the call, they go postal.
Yeah, there was a woman on the news down there in Texas. I've seen it. I guess she was in the courtroom or something, and she said they had seen the video. She described, I mean, I don't know if she was, people are, this is heavily racial, and so I guess the woman, this was a white woman, and she was kind of alluding to, like, yeah, everything was calm, and then all of a sudden, just bam, he just stabbed him out of nowhere. Now, I don't know what's going to come of that or what's on that tape, but it's very, from what that woman said, it was like the guy just freaked out and just poked the shit out of the guy with the whatever it was. And that does sound like some Manchurian Candidate shit. You know what I mean? But I don't know if we're going to ever be able to see that tape, but it's just so hard to believe that everything that we see on TV, I literally am now thinking everything I see on the news, everything I see on TV is fake and staged.
Well, again, one of my earliest videos in 2013 when I first started was showing, I showed an old documentary about how every news anchor on TV, when TV was a brand new thing, was military educated. And I said, you think about it, that's really all the U.S. has ever been, this military empire. It started with this militarism and genocide of the people here, and then it's been at war almost every year of its existence. It's got to be always mind control to keep people on board with what the U.S. is really doing. spreading its type of capitalism across the world, its type of leadership, its type of corporatism. And they just got to have everybody on board. And a big part of the way they do it is just keeping people in the entertainment loop, so they're not looking at events. But if you look, what they used to teach us when I was coming up in school, that the Nazis, one of the ways they mind controlled everybody was they gave out radios for free. They wanted everybody all the time to hear their propaganda, and there weren't TVs yet, so they gave radios to everyone. Look at it the same way, putting screens everywhere to make sure everybody's under the same ideas that they want spread in society. And like I continue to point out, for you younger people, you might not realize this, but if you wanted a big screen in the 90s, man, that was going to cost you at least $2,500. And part of the reason why is because TVs were so heavy, big screens, and now they're so light. But the point is, you had to spend $2,500 back in the 90s, which today would translate to, I don't know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Man, you want a nice big screen today, you can get one on sale on the right weekend for $700, and it has a way better picture than it had in the 90s. You're getting a way better TV with a way better picture for a fraction of the cost, and $800 now would have been like $200, $300 back then. They want us all glued in and sucking up their propaganda. I'm just making the point that I would think the real reason that technology was invented was to spread the mass mind control and have exactly what you see going on in the world. I mean, look at 90% of the populace. They all think the same way. They say the same things. They believe the same shit. So that's as simple as I can put it.
Absolutely. You are 1,000% correct on that. I can just remember, I can revert back to 2007 like it was just yesterday. I remember specific shit I was doing on days, and I remember those TVs being astronomical. I got a little 43-inch Vizio right here. This fucking TV, I got it for like $150.
Exactly. And that would have been a big screen back in the day. That's a big screen when you think about it. Now it's small because people got like 90-inch TVs. I walked into Costco, it was like 90-inch TV with a perfect picture. It was like on sale for $1,800. I mean, yeah.
Another thing about that, man, I just seen some shit that Elon Musk is about to kill off the iPhone with his phone that he's about to release, and his shit is going to be like $150 for the phone. You know what I mean? And he said it's going to be way more advanced than this iPhone, and so I guess Apple, he's going to give them a run for their money on the phones. But his selling point is it's only going to be a tenth of what it costs, for that fucking iPhone. And you look at all this shit you can get with it. And so they definitely want everybody to have this shit. And they want to, it's a thing where they wanted to make as much money as they can put off of it in the beginning. And then we're going to lower the price so we can make sure everybody has this.
Well, and it's just like you go on his platform now. You don't have to be subscribed to X, but right away you log on, you hearing all his thoughts. That's what's showing up in your feed, whether you follow him or not. Imagine everyone's got his device. I mean, now you're getting everything that's going to benefit him. It's, this word oligarchy is going around all the time right now. But yeah, you got people that are running all these companies, and you're owning all their stuff, and you're hearing literally everything they want. And I mean, at the beginning of this year, CNN had the first article about how Elon Musk will be the world's first trillionaire. Again, here's part of the roadmap to how one man can have so much influence over so many people. Absolutely.
That's insane.
You know what's crazy? On my analytics right now, we just lost 100 viewers all at once. And I'm just like, God, talk about Elon Musk. The analytics just dropped like that's like how I got deleted on his birthday back in 2017 for the first time ever. And this year I get deleted 1 week from, I've never been deleted on X. I get deleted 1 week after they take the White House. I'm deleted on January 27th. Man, you can't even talk about this guy, and they're just getting all kinds of hampered with. So anyway.
Wow. One last thing I got to know from you, man. Now this one, I have to know what you think about the spiritual portion of this. The people that are doing this, these Jesuits, all the other monikers that they go by, they're probably all the same people. These people, with that UBI, that's game over. As soon as it becomes fully digital, it's game over. But that UBI is going to really make it game over. These people, there's no way, if you believe in a higher power and a just higher power, they're not afraid of what's going to happen to themselves when they die, because there's no way that you can do this shit that you're doing and sleep comfortable at night. And if you really believe that there's a lake of fire and all of this shit that they say. They don't really believe that, man.
No.
These people are going to old age, dying with these strong, with this grip on the planet the way they do. They die with that. They don't really believe that shit. So why do people hold on to religion so much when the people controlling this planet, man? It's obvious they don't really believe that shit.
Well, again, it's been said that the people who run the planet, the Illuminati types, they do believe in God, but they believe God created the world, but God does not involve himself in creation, and he created the world in the way he did. And their idea is, well, I'm going to use everything that's within creation for my own well-being and power. And that's exactly how it looks. You can tell they're spiritual people. I mean, they're into all this occult stuff, which is connected to the spiritual world. They're essentially channeling the dark energy of the spiritual world for their own power, wealth, benefit, etc. But man, YouTube really doesn't like this conversation right now. Man, they are just killing us in the analytics. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow, man, I didn't mean to fuck your shit up, man.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It makes me think a lot of the viewers though are bots or something. I don't know what it is. So anyway, go ahead.
You know, there could actually be a lot more people tuned into you than you think, and they're just playing with the numbers and making you think that there's not.
That could be it too. It's something's highly manipulated. For 100 people to just fall off in a second because we bring up Elon Musk. That's weird.
Yeah, man. Let me go ahead and hop off, man. For you fucking around and have 10 people on the shit, man.
Well, if we got 10 people left, we got 10 people left. I've never censored my conversation, and I like what we're talking about right now. It's been a good conversation. If 100 people want to leave because of it, see you later.
Man, let me hop in the shower to get ready for work. I'm going to tap in with you later, man.
All right, great call. Take care, man.
All right.
See you. Here, I want to come back to this article because look at this, you guys. This trainer who died at 38, you see how it has to bring up 178 days? Look at the word Kabbalah. Again, this whole thing comes from Kabbalah. Kabbalah's 178, 38. Dead at 38, his name 38, 178 days. And then, you know, they have to say this happens while Mr. Beast is on 407 million subscribers. I mean, again, a zero doesn't count in numerology. It's just like how I was telling you on January 1st, 2025, date with 47 numerology, we get the story that he's engaged to the woman who wrote The Marked Children. What to know? Maj was isolated from the outside world and placed in a training facility set up by Mr. Beast to transform his life. Sounds like he was a meta. With unlimited access to food, workout equipment, and a personal trainer wall. The description of the video reads, in part, it is with profound sadness that we share the unexpected passing of Coach. Let's try it with Coach Tyler Wall. Let's see if we got anything there that factors in too. Coach Tyler Wall. 59 and 158. Those are interesting because Freemasonry, remember the story was put out by Newsweek on Freemasonry's birthday. 1776. Donald John Trump's got the 220 and 76. Trump is 47. Maybe there's a Trump angle here. Trump runs on Mega, the highest degree of the Church of Satan. Coach Wall was a remarkable individual whose kindness and genuine spirit touched all who knew him. His loss has left our hearts heavy with grief. The description details that the Mr. Beast team had reached out to Wall's family to determine whether the video should still be shared. It reads, with grace and wisdom, they expressed that Tyler would have wanted his message of hope and positivity to continue reaching others, even in his absence. You know, I wonder what percentage of people, like, if it was shown to them right in front of them, you know, just the pot of gold. You know, if you have the pot of gold, you pretty much have everything in this society since people want money. I mean, if you ever been to a place, you see the fat old man, looks like he's about to kill over. He's got the model, you know, perfect 10 girlfriend. Looks like she's 25, definitely a gold digger. You've seen it before. You go out in Miami, that scene's everywhere. You know, people want what comes with money. Money brings a lot of things in this world. How many people, though, if it was shown to them right there, it's like, listen, you get this, you just got to sacrifice this one person. You remember the DMX song, Damien, where he's got the demon? He's got to kill his friends on 38th. Yeah, that first album with DMX, got to kill his friends on 38th. Other big kill number is 44. 3-6 Mafia has the song about 44th Street Killers. There's a lot of there. I mean, that stuff's all over the world of entertainment. It's not just those examples. That recent movie about the Teamsters guy who was a gangster who died in his Death's a Mystery, and the De Niro movie about it came out a few years back. He goes into house 38 and gets killed. The street address is 38. It's all over the place. Murder by Numbers, the movie poster with the 38 encoded into the words. How long? I got to get back my that movie poster was behind me forever. I actually haven't referenced the movie poster in a minute. Again, just, this guy's dead at 38, right? Murder by Numbers. The 3 for the E, the 8 for the B. How many times have we told this same lesson? The song Murder by Numbers in 83. They use it in the movie Copycat. It is like a copycat. It's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. Sandra Bullock, the star of Murder by Numbers. The film came out 38 weeks after her birthday. The movie came out on Ignatius Loyola Day. But yeah, this is wild. Anyway, the description of the video details that Mr. Beast's team had reached out to Wall's family. Oh, wait, we read that. Speculation about the circumstances of Wall's death followed. His death certificate, which has been seen by Newsweek, lists manner of death as accident. Ah, I see what they did with that. Accident. You see how Coach Tyler Wall is 59? Look at accident. 59. Yeah. And God, what's the, it's one of the bigger shows that Netflix has put out about a family. It runs 33 episodes. God, I can't think of, I think it's called Bloodline. Family that runs a beach resort. And if you've seen Bloodline, there's the one thing where the family who's powerful in the town because they have the beach resort, a murder ends up happening. And because, they're connected to the political people, the guy who's the coroner for the police, he comes down and he helps cover up the murder scene because, he's also like one of the forensics experts, so he knows how to ruin the scene and make it look like something else happened. People say, oh, that's just at Hollywood. That's just a TV show. How do you know? Again, you go to the coroner. I mean, is this not the way the world is? Are there not people in towns that are above the law because they have so much wealth and money? Didn't Donald Trump tell you it was only people? Donald Trump said, I can kill somebody on the street and people will still vote for me. What happened to his ex-wife? Dead exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year, the same day he says, I'm going to run in the 60th election when his name equals 60. 45 years after their marriage, nobody blinks an eye. And another section, which is detailed as immediate cause. Yeah, if you've never seen that show, Bloodline on Netflix, it actually is a good show. It's a good show. It's worth watching. But yeah, that is something that happens in the show. Bring the coroner forensic expert down to protect the family, to make it look like something else happened there. What is this? Final disease or condition resulting in death, mitragenine toxicity. I guarantee you, sweet lady can pronounce that perfectly. It's funny. She speaks 4 different languages. Primary psychoactive alkaloid found in kratom, a tree native to Southeast Asia. Isn't kratom like the some people think this. I tried some of this kratom stuff years ago. I didn't like it. It gave me a funny feeling in my stomach. I wasn't impressed. Hold on. It has 107, just like ritual sacrifice is 107. And it has, here, what's kratom? So they're blaming it like he had kratom in his system. Kratom's got the 84 and 39 like Masonry, 78 like Scottish Rite. Again, just modern Freemasonry's birthday. The story was posted. Kratom is an herbal substance with opioid-like qualities. It didn't work for me. I didn't feel anything from it. It did not work for me. My stomach got woozy. Not to say everybody's different. I just, give me some ganja. But those days are over for me. I told Sweet Lady I wouldn't smoke anymore once. It's almost been a year. because it was just before my birthday that I had my last little joint. So probably pretty close to the 1 year anniversary of having no green. I won't lie though, I do miss it. I like green. My favorite thing in the world is being on the beach with a little green. Oh my. I wish I would have been born in Jamaica now that I think about it. Anyway, kratom is an herbal substance with opioid-like qualities and has a high risk of addiction. Well, I only tried it one time. It didn't make me want to try it again. According to a 2024 report from Forbes, the Mayo Clinic says that kratom can be used in low doses as a stimulant and at higher doses as a sedative. However, it adds that kratom is unsafe and carries a risk of addiction. As of the time of this report, the video, which features Wall and the news of his passing, has been viewed over 86 million times. Isn't it funny how they just have to encode this crap? Again, we talked about this a million times. 86 is to get rid of human sacrifice, 86, blood sacrifice, 86. They also refer to him as Coach Wall. Coach Wall's got the 33 like Masonry, 48 like Freemason. Of course, the big story on that day was the 33-year-old Muslim winning the primary in New York. Covered that. Mr. Beast shared a post on X about the video, writing, "I thought this was going to be a normal video, but it ended up being one of the most emotional and powerful pieces of content I've ever filmed." All right, it's been liked over 80,000 times. I wonder how much people would like it if they realized that this was, in all likelihood, a blood sacrifice for Mr. Beast to continue to be promoted in astronomical ways in the algorithm. While other people who are deserving of views are sent to the basement never to be found, like yours truly. The other guy who this video is for, is this a famous person or just the person that happens to be in the video? Oh, look, the person who's in the video who he's doing the weight loss for, his name is 80 and 10, like Satan. And remember Marilyn Manson, he put out that song, Say 10, with the number 10, and the chorus is, when you say God, I say 10. And Satan has the 10 and the 55, just like God does. 55 is the 10th triangular number and the 10th Fibonacci number. Marilyn Manson's also a member of the Church of Satan. But yeah, wow. It's a lot of coincidences. That's a lot of coincidences. People like to use that word. Okay. Appreciate you bringing that one up, Gematria Sense. Noble HSX said, imagine if Aston Gold talked about Gematria. I honestly don't know who Aston Gold is. Who's Aston Gold? Aston Gold. What is all mode? I don't know. A venture capital fund? A British singer? Aston Marigold? I don't know who Aston Gold is. No idea. No idea. But I do appreciate the super chat. Open up on his alternate channel. Something you didn't know, where he's doing the AI shorts. You know, open up. The reason I haven't pushed the button on anything AI, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because it is a worthy experiment, is I just feel like that's the takeover, right? So in a way, I'm like, man, using AI, is it like, is it something we ultimately shouldn't do? But hold on, what is this? Bill Moyers? Wait a minute, I thought Bill Moyers already died. You know, Bill Moyers was, when I was younger, I thought one of the better voices on TV. What did I cover about Bill Moyers years ago? 91. That's a breaking headline right now. Bill Moyers. I thought Bill Moyers, out of all the people on TV, was one of the more reasonable voices. But yeah, something you didn't know. Let me pull up the channel. This is Open Up, our regular supporter, great contributor. Again, he called in about this a few months ago, the short AI videos. Let me see if I can pull up the channel here. Shoot. They're making it hard to find his channel. Trying to pull it up. Here. Oh, here's a way to do it. Boom. Actually, if you do a super chat, I realize you think I would have known that before. If you just click on the super chat, it says go to channel. All right, right here. Only 27 subs. If you guys want to, here, I'll drop the link in the chat. But yeah, AI, I mean, you give it a few ideas, it can do the work for you. So, I mean, there is a lot of power to it. It's just, like, are we feeling the thing that gonna make us irrelevant? So, let's see. Out of what he's trying so far, wait, is this the right channel? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the right channel. Yeah, it's definitely the right channel. Shorts. Here we go. Yeah, like, even though he hardly has any subs, look, I mean, a number of these have gotten better views than any of my shorts have. So the shorts are working with the AI creation. Here's his recent video on the Antonio Brown murder thing by the numbers.
Antonio Brown. The number 206 appears in a repetitive pattern in Seattle sports and news that defies explanation.
Did it go to a different video?
Antonio Brown got caught up again with the law, facing an attempted murder charge on the 164th day of the year. Intriguing given his name equals 164 in English Gematria. The timing is no coincidence, with the news breaking on the infamous kill date, where the date numerology paths 64, 44, and 28 align. This is because the word kill equates to those same very numbers. Just 27 days from his birthday, or 28 if you're counting all days, aligns with the Gematria value of Miami equating to 27 and kill to 28. Adding to the synchronicity, his surname Brown equals 27 both forwards and backwards. No coincidence here, just ritualistic pattern in play once again.
My wife wants me to do less gematria and start working out more so I can look more like the AI guy in that video. Sometimes I think I should, because it's like, what is the point of this, man? We're not reaching anybody. I appreciate you doing that. And yeah, the AI is something else. Pinky says, what's your thoughts on Martin Cove bite story? Martin Cove, I mean, I don't, who's Martin Cove? I guess that's my thought. Who? Martin Cove bite story. Martin Cove apologizes for biting Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai. It's almost like his last name has the title in it. Alicia Hannah Kim, it will never happen again. He's born in 47, 78 right now. Hold on. Wasn't there a tragic death connected to Cobra Kai in the not so distant past? Cobra Kai. God, was it one? I'm pretty sure there was. It might have been. I did so many things exclusively on Twitter, and that whole channel's deleted. Now I totally regret doing that. Sometimes I wouldn't do the post on my own site. I just never really had any near close to death deletions on X until it just happened out of nowhere on January 27th. And again, that hurt because I finally found a place. I did have to pay for it. I just paid the whole fee for a year, and I didn't get my money back either. I also got scammed in that regard. Pretty much stole a year's worth of money. I was like 2 months into my year payment. But the reason I did it was so I could use the video streaming service because I was getting big views on there. Nearly drawing blood. I'm sure that, you know what, I'm sure if we decode this, it's all there. It's just, I think this is to bring attention to the show. Oh yeah. I mean, how do you get attention to this day and age when there's so many things competing for it? Oh yeah, I've been meaning to check out the Cobra Kai. Let me see what, does he bite her in the show? Happened on Sunday. So what was that? June 22nd. Oh, it happened in Puyallup, Washington, just south of Seattle. Interesting. I know there was an actor from this show that died recently. I remember covering it. But yeah, I don't know. She's 42, huh? Happened in Washington, the 42nd state. It was a joke. All right. Yeah, definitely not a serious story. Okay. Do we have anybody else that would like to call in? I still got an hour of show planned, but we haven't had a call for a minute. If you guys would like to phone in, I'm doing a longer show than I have in a while. Thank you, James Sullivan, who sent 2 on the Cash App. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys... let me look at Bill Moyers. If you guys want to call in, the line is open. I got to check out the breaking Bill Moyers news. He's from Oklahoma, you guys. You think that's an accident? Born in 34, Indiana equals 34. Big ritual. Indiana lost the series to Oklahoma 3-4. And 91. Isn't that how many points Indiana just scored in the last game? 91. A few days later, the guy from Oklahoma is dead. And nobody's going to question the death of a 91-year-old. Here's another thing that actually stands out about that. Well, let's see. The news is breaking today. Did he die today? He did die today. Jesus hominum salvator. The Jesuit motto is 266. The Society of Jesus is 91. I'll see where he went to school. I'm not sure where he went. 503.
Hey, Zach.
Hello.
It's calling you from Monmouth, Oregon. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thanks for calling in.
So a couple of questions. I'm not sure if you have covered any of this. I've been MIA due to health reasons. But there's 2 things that I wanted to ask if you've covered. One is the National Blueprint for Biodefense. That was a tabletop exercise done on 4 of 2024.
I got to do more research on it because somebody did call in about this. The 177-page document, like the Jesuit Order 177. Somebody called in about this yesterday, but I got to do more on it.
Yeah, and so in there it talks about a fungus breakout on 7/4.
Yes, on the 4th of July,
and then
right.
the other thing, yeah. But in there it also says that it was sprayed 9 weeks prior to July 4th.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the DARPA document. It's called the Advanced Disease Outbreak Simulation Capabilities, RFI. And that one broke out about a week ago.
So yeah, DARPA, military technology branch. What's that one called again? Give it to me one more time.
Advanced Disease Outbreak Simulation Capabilities, and RFI, acronym probably.
All right, yeah, I got it up here. I'll check that out too. I wasn't aware of that one.
All right. I just really want to know what you would have to say about it because, this year.
The link for that has now says did they take down the thing about the DARPA thing?
Not as of yesterday when I looked at it. There was so many of them.
Okay.
Pretty much any .gov had the entire document.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out.
All right, that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Finally
welcome.
listening to you after a long time of being gone.
Well, welcome back. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Zach.
yeah, take care. Did you guys see the Bill Moyers thing right away? Today leaves 188 days left in there, you guys. Bill Moyers is dead. His birth name is Billy Don Moyers. I didn't realize that he was a director of the Council of Foreign Relations. Billy Don Moyers, 188. The day leaving 188 days left in here. Remember, Bavarian Illuminati in that same cipher is 188. Their symbolisms on the dollar bill. The U.S. dollar bill denominations add up to 188. The 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 50, the 20, the 100. his name also equals 71. Look at the Society of Jesus has the 71 and the 91. Dead at 91. Where did he go to school? He did go to theological seminary school, but a Baptist. He didn't go to any Jesuit schools. He went to school in Austin, though. I swear to God, because Austin has that quadruple overlap with Jesuit. Austin and Jesuit, the exact same in all four ciphers. Austin, Texas, has the triple overlap with Jesuit order in the 36, like IHS. Jesuit order 72, 144, 153. Yeah, what a day for Bill Moyers. And again, that's just why it gets annoying too, right? It's just like these real-time decodes, you just see it in seconds. It's like, come on, man. I mean, Bill Moyers was on TV forever, and he just happens to die on the day, leaving 188 days left in the year. He was in the White House under Lyndon Johnson. His birthday is the anniversary of Reagan's death. He's dead 21 days after his birthday, like old Jesuit. He was the 11th White House press secretary. OKC's got the big 11 connection. He was the director of the Council on Foreign Relations from 67 to 74. I didn't realize that about him. Could have fooled me. Council on Foreign Relations also has the gematria of the Bavarian Illuminati if you throw a "the" in front of it. But yeah, Bill Moyers, fitting day to die. What did it say his cause of death was? When was the CFR created is another question. Let me see what the anniversary of their creation is. 104 years old. Established in 21, like he's dead 21 days after their birthday. Their headquarters is 58th East 68th Street. He's dead 58 years after being the director. As we know, Freemasonry is 58. He's dead one day after Freemasonry's birthday. We have an actual day in history beyond just a year. June 1st. Wait. The Code of Federal Regulations. That's a different CFR. That's not Council on Foreign Relations. Seems like 1921 is just what's popular online. Founded in 21. Huh. Right. Thank you again, Pinky. They said, okay, maybe not a serious story, but there's a channel, Cobra Kai Kid. What do you have to say about that YouTuber who looks up to shows like this? Again, I mean, so many people in this country that their whole life revolves around some form of entertainment. You got a lot of sports junkies, people that are absolutely obsessed with Star Trek, Star Wars, video games, other things I'm not thinking of. It seems like every kid, what they're into these days is the video game Fortnite. This morning, ESPN had an article telling kids to play Fortnite to become better baseball players. It's like, what? Without even reading the article, I can only assume that it somehow it helps your hand-eye coordination. Because, I mean, if the article is about being a good hitter in baseball. The article is about how one of the best hitters in baseball right now spends a lot of time playing video games, specifically Fortnite. But Like, it's weird. You think the advice would be, practice baseball and not play video games. Is Pokemon still a big thing? Okay, yeah. Pokemon was like, became popular, I want to say around the time I was in college or so. I'd never heard of it before that. About 20 years ago. Seven Urban Magazine in the building. I haven't seen you in a long time, Seven Urban Magazine. Seven Urban Magazine. One of the most infamous calls of all time in a TFR. She told us the day that she saw Jesus. I'll never forget it. I'm not sure if she's still on the Jesus train a decade later. Maybe she is. But yeah, shout out to Seven Urban Magazine. We might not agree on spirituality, but she is somebody who's helped spread the word about Gematria. Okay. Yeah, again, if you guys do want to call in, I got an hour show left. At least that's the plan. If not, I can wrap it up soon and go get Sweet Girl because I am paying for the childcare right now, but I'm trying to pay a little bit extra and see if we can do some longer streams. By popular demand. It's the experiment for the week. Yeah, if you guys missed the Diddy rituals this year with the latest on the trial where all you get are cartoon images. Of course, it's all by the numbers, as we said it would be. What's up, 816?
The National Blueprint for Biodefense.
Okay.
The guys who seem to bring it to light, he claims he's like for the people, but I suspect he might be controlled opposition. And there's a website that he has. It's M as in Mary dash cam, like the first part of camera.com. And I just think, I'm curious what you think, but his logo is just a little suspicious to me.
What day? So the first person to call in about this called in yesterday. When did you hear about this?
I heard about it maybe a couple of weeks ago, and then I realized it was from somebody I follow on Instagram. And then I think somebody had posted a video where basically he was spreading it just before she was about how he discovered this document, and he's letting people know. But I've always sort of been suspicious of this guy. Not saying that the information isn't accurate or something to not pay attention to. This guy seems suspicious to me.
His logo does have a lot of things that remind of the Masonic compass, and he might very well be a Mason.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean because you're a Mason that you're one of the bad guys necessarily. But yeah, I see what you're saying. His logo does look very Masonic. If for people who don't know, every alphabet in the world that has a letter M, the word for Mason begins with M. So interesting. M the 13th, I like it. We just saw the Muslim guy who won at 33 on Masonry's birthday. In his victory speech, he said he had just gone on a 13-mile walk. Again, M the 13th letter. So, all right, I'll have to look more into it. But yeah, I do intend to do more research on that. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, he's getting some free publicity from us today. So, all right. Yeah. Again, that phone line is open. I was hoping we'd hear from more of people who used to call in when we did the weekly TFR. Maybe the hours are different though. You know, that did go from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific, 9 to midnight Eastern. The guy who I'm sure is out there listening who always calls me an antichrist, but I had to block you finally the other day after a decade of being called antichrist because now you were claiming that construction didn't begin on the World Trade Center in 68 and I was a liar, which you were the liar for that one. That was the final straw. If you're out there listening, I would love to hear your voice today. I know exactly who you are. you have been a decent caller from time to time, but yeah, if you want to call in and let me know why you watch the videos, but always have to be a hater in the comment. I'm trying to figure out how to get more of you guys on board, helping me out here with trying to stop the actual real evil in the world. Is there a way that I can get you guys to look past your religious dogma and support the one guy who's been here every day for going on 12 years come this August, exposed to nothing but facts? And again, I think everybody can admit, had people been behaving like yours truly, the world would be a lot better place right now. These major agendas from the cabal, they would have been completely worthless. They wouldn't have worked not one bit. They would have been exposed from day one. I think the world will be a lot better off right now if more people were behind what we're doing. So if you want to call in, Mr. Antichrist Accuser, the line is open. 610, what's up, 610?
What's going on, Zach? It's Keith.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yo, listen, how would we go about, like, when we think this started? You know what I mean? Like, was it when, like, newspapers started? Is it, you understand what I'm asking?
When did what's going on with the Kabbalistic encoding start?
Right. Because, like, as far as I can see, it's there as far back as we're able to research.
Yeah, like I say, the system that's being used right now goes back to the 16th century when the Jesuits implemented the calendar and the language. I mean, you just check all throughout history, it checks out. But again, they didn't start this.
Yeah.
All this knowledge goes back to Babylon. So I imagine that people have been manipulating the minds of others with this Kabbalistic knowledge for thousands of years. Again, right in the beginning of the Bible, Genesis 3:2 says the tree of life and knowing good and evil. The tree of life is the physical matter for Kabbalah. It has 3 pillars, 22 paths. There is an evil half. That's the sorcery half. So, I mean, pre-Bible. It's older than the Bible.
Right. So do you think it's possible it's been here since Jump Street, since the very beginning?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it have been here from the beginning?
So I'm just trying to figure out, like, if you can come to the spot where you think it's been here since the jump, then how come you know, for lack of a better word, or you shy away from the simulation thing? Because you show us every day that we live in a loop, and we can go back in history and see that the loop has been there since the beginning.
So are we saying that simulation is essentially the same as sorcery and magic?
No.
Well, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sorcery and magic, and then you're saying, well, then why not subscribe to the simulation thing?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think they can both be true. I think they're both true. And again,
so you think the next word? You think the next word out of all of our mouths? It's not really us. It's just that's what was going to happen in the simulation. We were going to say whatever.
No, I'm not saying that either, man. Again, I think both can be true. I mean, obviously, dude, you've cooked the books on this thing for 10 years. Like, I've been here for a few of them. Like, there's not a doubt in my brain about what's going on with your work. I'm just trying to.
Here, tell me something. When is the time that I'm supposed to? Oh God, the guy whose show you've gone on and tried to spread the knowledge. What's his name? It's not coming to my tongue right now.
The Archaics, dude. That's right.
Archaics. Yeah. When's the guy? When does he do the open streams where people can come on and share information? When do those happen?
Dude, check your effing email, man. I've been trying to bring you on.
Well, the problem is I'm horrible at keeping up with my email, and the other problem is it's usually like nighttime, and I'm not looking at my phone. I'm taking care of sweet girl.
Yeah, I actually had the shit scheduled, and then I rescheduled it just in the hopes that, like, I could get your ass before.
Well, hey, I'm streaming almost every day. If you just call and say, "Hey, I got this scheduled for this time, this day," then I can plan that out and make it happen. So when is the next?
Had I called it live, I would have done that. But I can't ever catch your fucking lives. Like, I'm working right now. I just got lucky and saw it in the feed. No, it doesn't show me any stuff for the lives.
All right, hold on. Hang up the phone right now, and I'm just going to send you a message, and you should get it from my actual phone number, not my call-in number, and then you can message me and when it's time.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'll send you a text message.
Okay. And you didn't watch the whole video, right?
Which one?
Played like that few minutes.
No, I did watch it all. 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 I wasn't real happy with the job he did.
That might be that might be the shittiest part of the whole 2 hours. What you cut out right there.
Well, it was the shittiest part, absolutely, but it was also an important part because it was totally dropping the ball. I mean, he asked you right there, what is the point of knowing this guy's work? And your response was, literally what you said is, well, he like gives into the trolls a lot. It's like, imagine somebody listening. Oh, let me tune into that. I mean, just horrible response. Just like the worst response you could ever have.
Not wrong. So he tripped me up when he's asking me about your personal opinion. Like, I wasn't ready.
I don't even know how anyone could ever answer that way. What's his work about? Well, he gives into the troll. I mean, you didn't answer anything that the work was about either.
I was listening to your stream, and you're playing some fucking weird dude. Like, that's just what was on my mind right before that happened. But if you keep listening, I pull it all together. I promise you.
I did watch the whole thing. I did watch the whole thing.
Wait, you did?
I did.
You did or I did?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll send you a text message and you let me know in advance. Like, if you can get it a day in advance, that'd be helpful to me. So, appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man.
Yeah, I just can't imagine being asked the question. You're trying to go on and share Gematria and say, well, what's his work about? And your answer is the first thing you think of is, well, he gets tripped up by trolls a lot. It's like, God, okay. Well, there goes that. And do I really get tripped up by trolls a lot? I address how pathetic it is and how many trolls I do have, and that shows also the relevance of the work, that I'm like one of the only people that has dedicated YouTube troll channels that only make videos about yours truly, which seems kind of weird based on how small the channel is. Like, there's no dedicated channel to Asmongold TV who gets millions of views a day. He doesn't have a dedicated troll that just harasses him all the time, calling his family members, harassing them. He doesn't have to deal with any of that. Gets a million views and doesn't have to deal with anything like that. What's up, 914?
Yo, Zach. Zach, what's up? Sorry about that. I'm outside. Yeah, first time calling, Zach, man. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, what's up?
I was calling, man, because, like, I follow your work, bro, and I just want to give you a little bit of advice, man. Your work is phenomenal. I got both your books. Didn't read them yet, but I got so much shit in my library that I'm trying to read. But I come to the conclusion, man, that because I appreciate the effort you put into trying to beat these guys in the head, trying to open them up to this knowledge. And I've been there, and all I gotta say is, man, don't even waste your time anymore on these idiots, man. If they can't understand this shit, and you've been breaking it down for years, bro, then fuck it. Let the dead lie with the dead, man. I think you should like focus more energy on just promoting the message, and whoever catches it, because it's not even about intellect. I believe, because I have family members who got good jobs, working in the bank and all that shit, and I try to tell them this same information, and it's like it just bounces right off. It's like they're vibrating so low, bro. So it's like you put in too much work to be trying to explain shit to people. If they can't catch it, then they're not on the frequency. So, just keep doing your thing, man. And like I said, I'm a first-time caller. Been following you for a minute. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a kid from the hood, but, I got an open mind, and I really appreciate your work. You've been grinding. And I got to say, you got more balls than a lot of these people in this world, because people who have the information don't give a fuck to spread the information. So I want to give you a shout-out because you got more balls than a lot of people, bro, and you stand on what you say. And
I appreciate that. Did you come out when we were in New York? Did you come out with us?
I didn't, man. I didn't. I was just gonna say the next time you're in New York, I'm definitely gonna pull up. I didn't make it.
That's okay. There will be a next time. There will be a next time. All right. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Keep doing your thing. Peace and love, man.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah. Later.
You can't miss that New York accent. He didn't need to tell me where he was from. I do like the New York accent. Isn't it funny? The New York accent is nice, but the Boston accent is just like so unfortunate, and geographically they're not that far apart. Our accent's the craziest thing. It's like, how did this happen to the Boston people? I knew this girl in college. She was beautiful, but she had this Boston accent. It just ruined the whole thing. I was like, I could, man. Woo! Man, that accent is the worst. How did it happen? I do find accents to be one of the most interesting things about humanity. Boston, though, I don't know what happened to those people. Is there a worse accent in the world than Boston? I mean, seriously. It is horrific. It like makes your ears bleed. Okay. And this is what I was talking about the other day. Like, do we even know that there's even really an attack going on in Iran? Just look at the way it transpires over a week. Again, we do know that a bunch of our tax money is siphoned away and it's given to these, military contractors and puts money in the ruling class's pocket. But is there even like real wars going on? Is any of this real? There's no proof of anything, no video of anything, right? In this age of cameras everywhere, we couldn't get some like, it's the same thing as 20 years ago. You know, they like to show you the shot of the sky and this flying through the sky and this explosion up there. It's like, what is that? I mean, do we even know that anything is going on? But yeah, we went from total obliteration, 24 hours of total obliteration, what, like 48 hours that comes out like, oh, actually, there wasn't total obliteration. Even Israel's intelligence says it wasn't total obliteration. And then first the U.S. is trying to play it up. And then today it's, well, they got excuses. Well, they put concrete over whatever, the reactor or the ports into where this material is. And concrete, like how much concrete? I thought these are the bunker busters that can blow up things like 3 football fields down. It's just, I mean, every day, guys, all these headlines we're bombarded with, there's no proof any of this stuff is ever happening, like literally zero. They will end up starting wars, though, and deploying people. And then you got, I mean, how many people died in the Middle East driving their patrols and hitting a landmine? It's like, and who's to say, I mean, who's putting those landmines out there, Who's to say it's not U.S. intelligence funding their little former CIA groups like Bin Laden's and like, hey, we want you guys to get the landmines out here. Here, we're going to have a helicopter coming through on this patrol. Because you need these headlines. Oh, another helicopter shot down with a rocket. Oh, another patrol hit landmines and this many are dead in the story today. It's like, it seems like that's what the whole war is. Like, so what is it? Just people dying on patrol, helicopters crashing and getting shot down here and there? What else is going on in this war? Just over there for 20 years of this? Oh, we're just going to bounce on the Jesuit order's birthday and leave, what'd they say, like $1 trillion worth of hardware on the ground? What's that, to fund the next CIA Islamic group, Again, CIA overthrew Iran on the Jesuit. Isn't it funny? Iran was overthrown once upon a time on August 15th. After 20 years in the Middle East, it all ends on August 15th. It's just, Japan surrenders at the end of World War II on August 15th. Jesuit order's birthday, Jesuit order's birthday, Jesuit order's birthday. Where's all the people always in the chat saying, oh, Zach tries to scapegoat it on the Jesuits? Well, why does everything line up with them then? Tell me about it. 520, what's up, 520?
Hey, Zach. Yeah, I think you're right about the, I don't know, I just get the whole Wag the Dog vibe from this whole story, the bombings and, like, where's the proof? We keep seeing the same shots, the day it happened, I just got Wag the Dog,
I agree. For people who haven't seen the movie Wag the Dog, I think it's one of the most important movies Hollywood ever made. And it's one of these movies they never put on any of the streaming platforms. It's never like on HBO. It's a movie they almost want you to forget about. If you have never seen Wag the Dog, find a way to watch that movie. It came out around the time of Bill Clinton going through his whole thing with Monica Lewinsky. And it was like predictive programming. For people who don't know what it's about, the president is seeking re-election and he has sex with a 12-year-old Girl Scout. I think they call them like the Fireflies or something like that. I forget what it is, but they're supposed to be the Girl Scouts. So the president's had sex with a 12-year-old. And not to mention in Gematria, sex equals 12. But they're saying, oh my God, how's he going to get reelected with this in the news? And then I think it's Robert De Niro, who's his PR guy, and he's like, here's what we're going to do. Or wait, God, they bring in De Niro at some point, but anyway, they decide what they're going to do is...
They hired De Niro.
They hired De Niro, right? That's what they do. They're going to create a war. They're going to create a war because you have to... Yeah, you can't take a wartime president out of office. And that's what they were always saying with George W. Bush, too, that he had to win re-election because he was a wartime president. Total moron, but he had to stay in there because he's a wartime president. But the whole thing is, if you have a wartime president, you got to re-elect him. So they create a fictional war using the best director in Hollywood. And then the other beauty of that is like they enter in fake stuff into the National Archive, and they're bringing up these historical artifacts that they just made up. The movie really is the best. And then just to ruin the movie totally for you, but you should still watch it. At the end, the director, the Hollywood director who faked the whole war that gets him reelected, he wants clout for that. He wants credit. He wants it to be known that he did this. So the CIA just goes to his house, and then I think the movie ends with a news story about how like he died in his sleep or something. It's like, oh my God, man, this is exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro. I mean, it's not like low budget actors, these are blockbuster dudes. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what I mean. It was a big movie at the time, but then it's like it's forgotten to history. I bet almost any young person's never heard of this movie, and they'll probably never see it because it's just like I said, they don't put it anywhere out there anymore. You don't see it.
yeah, I need to buy that actually. I buy movies like 200 DVDs just in case. That's when every time I'm at the cool store, I get movies from. Like, I gotta pick that up because somebody better own it. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm getting. That's just my gut. When this all happened, I start seeing little things. You know, I always check in with you first, and then see if you've checked on it, and then I'll look at the CNN or something to see. But it's just so Wag the Dog. I'm not even like that was it. I haven't put any thought into it.
No, I agree 1,000,000% with what you're saying. It is Wag the Dog, and I feel like that's what's been going on in this nation for a long time. I mean, they make up stuff, but they do create real problems, and eventually more young people might get needlessly deployed to the Middle East, and they might end up driving and dying on their patrol hitting landmines, and their helicopter might get shot down for the headline for the day. But none of this stuff needs to be happening.
We live right next door to the zoo, and they did the big Trump rally.
520, something happened to your signal. Your call might have been too good. It's pretty hard to hear you right now.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
It's better now. Whatever you did is better.
Is that better?
It's better.
So we had the King Day or whatever that was. That big, every city was doing it. What was it? That big.
No King's protest on the same day that King Charles was having his military parade in the UK. The guy born on the day, leaving 47 days left in the year.
Yep. So we live here. We're in Tucson. They did it.
Your call signal went bad again. 520.
You're kidding. How
now
about
now it's better. Well, if there's a difference to what you're doing, you got to stay right there. There, it's good.
That's weird. So we could see the protest from our house. So me and I have two teenagers. We ran down there just to, sniff it out. And there were people with big, nice cameras coming up and trying to take our picture, and I was blocking our faces. And I was like, there was a lot of agents down there that day.
Yeah.
Because there was at least, there was over 1,000 people. I mean, they were parking up in our driveway, because we're so close. But it was so weird to see just how organized, because you can't get people organized. But this thing was so big, and it was just crawling with agents. You could feel them.
Sure. I mean, it's all control. Yeah. Again, it was a perfect ritual. And anytime there's these big protests, they are always controlled. And yeah, they probably are building databases. They're probably seeing who's coming out. Oh, here you go into the database. Who's the no King's protester type? Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I was like, I don't even know why we walked down there, because literally 2 blocks. And I was like, these are just dangerous. I was like, just keep your heads down, me and the kids,
Well, you're already in a database, too. I guarantee you everybody who watches my YouTube channel's in some kind of database. Guaranteed. And I mean, I'm not saying that because I'm part of it. I'm just saying that's the age we're living in. They put me in some kind of file, and, who follows and listens to this kind of information? That's where we are. We're in the total surveillance state.
Well, I already am, because I got basically told by the government, because I was pulling boys out of autism, and because it's a vaccine injury, and I got too big, too mouthy, too popular, and someone online called me the Aaron Brockovich of autism, which was cool, but I already got in trouble. And when they let you know to shut up, you do shut up, because it's very scary, the things that they throw at you. So yeah, I'm not even supposed to be. For a year, I had to stop watching channels. I had to drop out. So even calling you, but I wanted to ask you, what do you think about we are losing 300 Americans to Mexico a month? Because I'm right here. So it's interesting to me. I just went and looked at a house in Nogales, Mexico, which is amazing because we go every month grocery shopping, and we get my daughter's braces tightened there. We do all dental. And I just looked at an amazing 2-bedroom house for $390. Everybody in that town is happy. There's a pulse. They don't spray, even though we're this close. They have what's called space sense, which is frequencies, and it literally stops at the border because we spent 3 months during COVID. So as soon as I heard Wuhan, I was like, oh, here comes that fake pandemic. I was talking about 7 years ago. So we got in the car and went and rented a house in Puerto Penasco, Rocky Point, which I'm sure you heard of. From
Oh, sure. We used to go
college.
down to Rocky Point a lot when I was at Arizona State.
Right now it's like this huge built up. There's more California plates than Sonora plates down there now. It's the problem now with like Rocky Point is it's been taken over by us gringos. But the air, the food, the water, because my son got a vaccine injury, he has to be very careful. And he just can't live in a poisonous area. Like, didn't America start out as an experiment? I mean, didn't people run here? That's how America kind of was built. People running from persecution of their country.
Right, the land of the immigrants, right. Right.
But why aren't we talking about getting the F out of here? Like, are we supposed to just ride this down? You know what I mean? Like, I love, every time we go to Mexico once a month, we feel so good. And then we cross back and we just feel like we're in handcuffs.
Sure.
And we see fentanyl people. There's none of that down there. There's no drug addicts. There's like, I feel safer there than any town USA. Like, my electric bill, we got a house for 3 months in Rocky Point, the highest in the summer with 3 units, the big, nice Mirage units they use, which I have here in America. I bought a bunch. But still, I have $500 a month electric bills in the summer because we have a big house. In Rocky Point, my highest bill was like $16.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's not even like you have to cross an ocean. What are they doing that we can't?
Exactly.
Like, we're just getting
Yeah, we get gouged on everything in the U.S. That's why people just don't understand. We get gouged on everything in the U.S. Everything costs way more here, and we get way less. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the technology. I mean, if I drive 50 minutes from my driveway and cross the border into Nogales, they have $5 water bills. An average electric bill, in say spring or fall is $9, and then I drive 50 minutes back, and we're paying $380.
This is why the U.S. has the greatest wealth disparity in the world. And again, the government is taking a lot of money from us, fees, taxes, all this stuff. The utilities are a lot of it state public run supposedly, but they're massive bills. Again, and then you have the Elon Musk of the world who are benefiting from getting all of our government tax dollars sent to them through subsidies. They've created this ruling class by siphoning our wealth from all these different ways. Like I said, too, just cable, too. I mean, you go to Europe, you get way more channels, and they pay about $20 a month. We're paying $200 for a fraction of the channels. And here in the U.S., none of the cable companies have to compete with each other. Cox gets their market, Spectrum gets theirs, Charter gets theirs, Comcast gets theirs. No competition, so they can all screw from every angle we get raked, and it's all organized by government and corporation. And again, you got the average American who's never been anywhere who's like, well, this is the greatest country there ever was, and I learned that pledging to 13 tribes for 13 years. Like, no, it's not. And I was a few months back, this idiot was saying that we're the freest people, and I made the same point. I said a lot of people are going down to Mexico because they feel a whole lot freer down there than right here. And in the U.S., they try to brainwash people and make it seem like Mexico's this super dangerous place. And it's like, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't. I'm so glad to hear that. I didn't know you understood that.
Oh yeah, I've always said these things. You must be new here. I've always said these things. So.
Oh no, I just missed it. But I think like it's so funny. Every spring, like right before spring.
Exactly,
break,
they got to have a story about somebody dead in Mexico. Oh, this person got killed. Exactly, it's a psychological operation. It's obvious. I've covered that almost every year for the spring. Yeah.
Oh,
this year it was the Indian girl. This year it was the Indian girl killed in Mexico. I didn't even do it this year because I'm so tired of it. I'm like, how don't people catch on to how this works? This is all about scaring people for spring break. Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Spring break. They want you spending your money in Florida, San Diego. They don't want you.
Right.
And I think I know they scare people about Mexico cartel, all that. So we don't realize we're living next door to the land of milk and honey. They don't want us. I mean, when COVID finally did hit, and I told our hotel guy, because we have the same hotel, this huge, beautiful hotel on the beach, he said, what's coming? I said, there's a pandemic coming, but it's not going to be real. Anyway, it finally showed up. Mexico took it very serious. We had a curfew. There was sirens going off every night, but whatever. I was watching the line. They have a store called Coppell. It's kind of like art dealers. They had a line, so they were only letting probably 6 people in at a time, 6 feet apart. Then the Marine guys, the soldiers that are in Mexico with their big, machine guns, they were cruising by watching the line. And then the cops. And then we saw what a friend of ours said, there's some cartel guys. The cartel guys were across the street just keeping an eye on the cops. Like, the cartel guys are really there to help you. Like, they're not, it's not like I would let my daughter date a member. That's how you just don't get around them. And they're a mafia, and I'm sure they're funded by the U.S., always have been. So, now they run avocados. Just don't sell drugs, and you'll be fine. But
it's just like, exactly. If you don't want to be harmed by the cartels, just stay away from the whole drug thing. It's the same as Yakima, Washington, which is ran by the cartel, where I was living for a little while. People in Seattle think you're crazy to go to Yakima. Don't you know that's the murder capital of the state? Well, as long as you're not messing around with the whole drug thing, you're not going to be part of that problem.
Right.
So,
right. That's like saying from Goodfellas, like, if you move to New York, the mob's going to get you. You know what I mean? Like, some mafia member, a mob boss can kill you. That accent. I grew up in San Francisco and lived in Nashville for 20 years. So the California accent, Southern accent, the twang, especially on some women, it makes your ears bleed. Boston, New York, Minnesota, it's so weird. Like, you're right. What's the origin of these accents? Boston is the ugliest. New York is kind of cute, but
Your signal's going bad again. 520. I appreciate your call, but I do got to wrap this up here pretty soon too. But thank you, 520.
I'm going long.
That's okay.
Okay, sweetie.
Appreciate the call. You have a good day. Enjoy the sun in Arizona. Take care.
Yeah. Bye, honey.
Take care. Hot time of year in Arizona. Look at this, you guys. This is incredible. Apple drops 56 cents to end at 201 on the 177th day of the year. I'm always telling you about big tech and the Jesuits. That's that pairing, 177 and 201. And if you let you guys, where's the 56 fit in with Steve Jobs? Do you remember what age he died at? Do you remember whose birthday it was 56 days earlier? Let me just pull this one up. It's another Steve. Who's the other big Steve with Apple? Steve Jobs and Steve who? And what kind of name is Steve Jobs anyway? Is this another puppet? Another one of these created puppets? Apple made a lot of jobs. Hold on. Is this the post? Wait. This isn't the same post. This is a different observation. Where's Wozniak at? Steve Jobs died at 56 days after Steve Wozniak's birthday. The two big Apple guys. Again, Society of Jesus 56, the Jesuit Order 177, 201. The other guy that sits around and watches every video and trolls every second and makes videos too, trolling, and recently did a video saying, oh, Zach's like has all these numbers connecting Jesuits, like 56, 177, 201. I mean, like, how hard is it to find one of those to... again, here we are. Steve Jobs, Mr. Apple, who died at 56 days after Steve Wozniak's birthday. Now we got this on the 177th day of the year. Call in and tell me about it, you deadbeat. This is my trolls, too. That if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, don't worry about it. He used to act like he was a friend of the community. I used to call him Taco Money. He always seemed like a weirdo, though. But, you know, now he's a deadbeat dad who doesn't pay his child support and spends his time instead trolling me every day. Why don't you do something for your child? How's this for an example of 56, 177, 201, since you recently had a video saying, like, oh, Zach uses all three of these numbers. Yeah, here it is again. Yeah, I'm going to use all three again today. How about the 201st detachment created on the day leaving turn 1 days left in the year, when I wrote a book years ago about how big tech is run by the Jesuits and so is the military, considering how the Jesuits consider themselves a military order and the internet's credited to the military. Doesn't it all just fit together so perfect? DARPA, the military branch, ends LifeLog the same day Facebook launches. But yeah, this stuff is just too much. It fell exactly 56 cents to be at exactly $201 on the 177th day. I mean, come on. Come on. And I see we're down to, it says, okay. Wait, it was at 201 there for a second. Now we're up to 206 live viewers. We're down viewers since I last looked. You know, Mexico, to be fair about Mexico, I've spent plenty of time down in Mexico. There is some sketch stuff about Mexico. The police are definitely a lot worse down there than U.S. police. Not that I like any police, but Mexican police are probably the absolute worst. I'm pretty sure, I just wonder, my friend held me back, but I saw this, and who knows what this guy did, but I'm pretty sure he was being murdered on the street right in front of us, and I'd been drinking that night. I was in my early 20s. I was ready to go run in there and help out that guy because I didn't like seeing what was going down in front of me. This guy was just getting beat the shit out of by a mob of people, and they did have weapons. And I thought in my drunken state I was going to go in there and get him to stop, but my friend was like, dude, are you trying to get us all killed? And I always think back about that, though, because that, we did just walk away and let it happen, and I always just wonder what had happened if I would have gone in there. I don't know what happened to that guy, but I'm pretty sure he was dead that night. And maybe he had it coming. Maybe he was getting that ass whooping in the middle of the street by about 30 guys for a reason. So that's the kind of stuff you don't really see in the U.S., though, but you can see if you're out late enough in Mexico. That said, I don't really mind that either. It's just like, that mob didn't come over after us because we didn't have anything to do with what was going on, but street justice, I guess. All right, I got about 20 minutes, and then I got to go get Sweet Girl. If we got anybody else who'd like to call in and be part of this stream, nobody really hit the topic. I guess nobody has the idea. If I don't have the idea, I guess nobody does either. How do we get this work out there? How do we make it not invisible? I mean, really, we cover, I don't know any other channel that covers a greater diversity of topics and really shows what's going on with definitive proof day after day. And people say, this isn't definitive proof, but I mean, it's just like, again, Bill Moyers is dead on the day leaving 188 days left in the year. Oh, in real time. Oh, yeah, his name equals 188. No wonder. Apple is at $201 a share exactly after dropping 56 cents. I mean, does it not back up the same points you just made a million times? I mean, I'm making the same point here. Society of Jesus. What are the odds that Steve Jobs would die 56 days after Steve Wozniak's birthday? So, and of course that big tech epicenter. It also has Nice big Masonic lodge right down there in the middle of it. Again, the Jesuits and the Masons, they got a deep connection. All right. Thank you very much, Kiwi, for the 2. Are those 2 pounds? I don't recognize that. Maybe that's the. Are you a Kiwi? Then maybe that's the Australian currency. Thank you, Kiwi. Exposing Feds says. Exposing Feds dropped. Exposing Feds knows exactly what troll I'm talking about and gave us a super chat with their name and address. And you know what? I mean, it is well deserved. That person spends their time doxing me all day, every day. I don't tend to do it back because it only instigates them. But yeah, that is the person. That is the deadbeat dad who makes these totally worthless videos trying to deny now what is undeniable. And remember, I remember what he did when we went out for 9/11. He claimed that he went out for 9/11 as well and got arrested, and he called in about that, trying to like persuade people not to go out and participate. And you know, the angel, you know, the Tuballard angel, she was no angel. She also tried to sabotage that 9/11 thing, telling people that we were going to get arrested in New York, where that wasn't a problem at all. But her and Greg are friends. So again, these were the agents that definitely were hanging around the community. What's up, 707?
Hey, what's happening, Zach? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. What's up?
Man, I'm having a hard time right now. I'm over here coming home from work, man. You were talking about ideas, man, and I got one. I don't know if it's been said before, but since everybody likes to gamble so much, right? And it seems to be something that attracts people to the knowledge to, you know, get over. So maybe somehow you can start a class to put that shit on billboards. Or, I don't know, like put it on billboards. It's a book for how to gamble using the code or something, you know? Hit up billboards. Make people, you know what I'm saying, they'll be curious about it.
Well, billboards
You know what I
are
mean?
expensive. I mean, it's expensive to have a billboard.
I know, but shit, something. But if you can get one at like by Marine World, Six Flags, or you know, on by a major something major, just at least one in a place where people, you know, something. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Well, the day we have 1 million people pledging $1 a month, I'd be happy to put billboards up all over. But the problem is, right now we don't even have 3,000. So I mean, you know, and a year's thing, I can afford one billboard in one medium-sized town that'll be up for a month. That doesn't cut it.
Okay. Well, man, I'm just throwing out ideas. I appreciate the work. Like I said, man, me and my wife one night, we seen that Chadwick Boseman passed away. We were looking at his age and everything, and within 10 to 15 minutes, his age changed.
Yep, they made him a year older. Well, too obvious dying on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day at 42. They had to change it.
That tripped me out. I was like, this is really happening.
Yep.
I was like, man, my wife looks at me now. She don't doubt me at all. I mean, like right now, you know, I'm telling her like, hey, you know, it might go down. It might not be too serious, but, you know, we'll get it. We're going to get some water every day. You know, we'll get some beans, you know, put them in one of those newer bags, you know, in a bucket, some rice, just in case. Have it in the garage, you know, just in case. So, you know, just be ready.
Yeah, ounce of preparation.
I appreciate you guys, man, because I see it every day, man, and now it's, especially in my town, Vallejo, it's the rituals going, especially in Vallejo. I'm thinking like, little Vallejo, nah. Vallejo's like one of the biggest spots, man. We got a big Mason Hall on the hill, and man, I swear to you, dude, the council, the city councils and everything, man, they be doing the news. I be like, bruh. So I appreciate you, Zach.
Well, I appreciate you too, and thanks for helping get out the word, and thanks for making your wife see it. That's great. Appreciate that.
No doubt, man, and much love to you and your family, man. Many blessings. Peace out to sweet lady and sweet baby, or sweet little lady.
Appreciate that.
You have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you.
Peace.
All right, take care. Yeah, D26, you're welcome to call in. I got to go get Sweet Girl here pretty soon, so I'd call in now. And again, don't worry if people jump off the stream when you call in. I don't care if they jump off. I like when you call in. What's up, 503?
Well, I'm just going to bounce off an idea off of the Billboard thing.
Okay.
So I'm a chef in a sports bar. How about coasters? Print off a bunch of coasters. I would be more than happy to buy coasters from my pub, and it's a sports pub. So maybe have someone design them and print them as we go. I don't know how that works, but it's just an idea, especially in a sports pub.
People do advertise on coasters. I like the idea. I should make more little trinkets like that. Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, in my pub, people don't get a coaster. They beg for one. If we're out, they're crying.
Yeah. No, I got my cup on a coaster. Everybody likes a coaster. So, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, especially in sports pubs. I mean, from hometown Portland, I'm in, Salem, Monmouth. Yeah, coasters. I think that would be an awesome spot.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to come down and hand those out in Portland. Portland's my home city. So, all right.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Appreciate it. Thank you. This Apple thing is so perfect, man. To be exactly $201 on the 177th day of the year, dropping 56 cents. It's almost unbelievable. Almost unbelievable. We're the people and they live, man. We can't get anybody to put on the glasses. Nobody will put on the glasses. It's the fight scene with Roddy Piper. Somebody called in like a few months ago. They're like, Zach, have you seen They Live in the fight scene? It's like, dude, how are you calling in and telling me this in 2025? We've talked about the exact analogy about a gazillion times over the last decade. Yeah, D26, you better call in now. I got to get going here pretty soon. We've been going for a while, doing a 3-hour stream here. It's been a minute since we did a 3-hour stream. Now, granted, we didn't raise nearly enough money to cover what the extra childcare costed today, but it's whatever. What's up? What's up, D26?
I was just checking some old stuff, old videos that I missed of yours, like short videos which you post. When was your account deleted on X?
January 27th. January 27th, old 127.
Do you know the significance of that date?
Well, hit me with what you found.
Since it's a day after Kobe died, also a day after Indian Republic Day, from 27th of January to the Jesuit birthday is a span of 201 days.
From August 15th? What?
Yeah. From August 15th to 27th of Jan is a span of 201 days.
Oh, if you're counting towards it, I see. From January 27th up to August 15th, it's a span of 201 days. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not an
I
accident.
thought it was Kobe's death anniversary because I think your stream was getting too much attention. That is what you said.
Well, the things that stood out to me at the time were there were three things that stood out about the deletion. One was a week earlier, we had the salute by Musk, and I was showing how it was connected to Warner Von Braun. And then, of course, about a week later, they released the news that Warner Von Braun's wife died that day. And then the weekend before that, we had the conference championships for football, and my stream had over 5,000 people watching on X, which is a lot compared to what I get on YouTube, where right now we have 200 and some people watching. And then Gary the Numbers Goon, after it got deleted, he made a video or put out a post bragging about how he got my channel deleted, and I had just challenged him to a debate. So again, one of those three factors, or all three, all had something to do with it. Again, Gary the Numbers Goon, I don't know how he got famous, but he's connected to all these people. He does this work, but he's really trash at it, and he used to call into TFR back in 2016 and embarrass himself every week. But yeah, now he's connected to all these things like Fresh and Fit and stuff, and he got invited to the Trump White House, and yeah, so I think me challenging him around that time and him being proud of the channel getting deleted. What was also funny is 2 days later, then he did a video how he's a big free speech guy. I was like, wait a minute, day before he's bragging about getting a channel deleted, now he's a big free speech guy. This guy's crazy. Anyway, I think all three of those things were contributing factors to the deletion. So,
But it sits perfectly with the Jesuit birthday and the connect and the duration, the date which happens, span of 21 days. Other than that, the other part of the news may not be so much significant until something major happens. So, when these major companies like Disney, they care a lot about money. Like, if something is making them money, they do like it. So, they are not going to risk any of their ongoing projects, if they knew something is going to happen in the world. Let's say a virus is going to come or something. I'm not taking names of any virus just because I don't want the stream to get flagged. But you know what I mean. Like, no kind of lockdowns or anything. So if they knew something was going to happen in the near future, they would not invest so much money in the upcoming projects, like the Avatar movies and the Avengers movies. And talking about Avengers movies, something that they've never done in the last 12 to 15 years is they have shifted the months of release. Now they're releasing in December instead of the summer release. What's interesting is that it's releasing on Francis's birthday, Pope Francis's birthday, the sixth one, the sixth Avengers movie. It's also titled as Secret Wars. And the fifth movie.
Wait, hold on. I think rather than Pope Francis's birthday, if it's the sixth one, Saturn is the sixth planet, and that's the first day of Saturnalia, right? December 17th. So that's probably more about why it is.
I was going to connect. Yeah, I was going to connect to that. Yes. Regarding the Saturnalia thing. So I need to check. Hold on.
By the way, I recently saw part of the new Avengers movie, Brave New World, which originally was going to be called New World Order. And I'll remind people, Brave New World was written by Aldous Huxley, who died the same day as JFK. But I noticed in the beginning of that movie, Harrison Ford, who's the president, he's talking about how in the last year, half the world's population mysteriously died. Since I don't really follow the series, I guess he said mysteriously, but is there a reason for people who follow to understand why half of the world's population would have died?
So in Avengers 3rd, the Infinity Wars, if you've heard about that, that's the third one, which came out in 2018. In the end of that movie, I'm spoiling it for most everyone who's watching, so just mute me if you want. I'm just giving a major spoiler. The villain wins, Thanos. He snaps his fingers with the six Infinity Stones, and that eliminates half of the beings in the entire universe, not just Earth, but the entire universe. Half of life dies. That's it.
I see.
So
but people don't know why that happened. They don't understand that the villain did this, so that's what was okay. But you get it if you watch the movie. Okay, I see.
But what's interesting is that there is a time jump in the movie, and a year later. So that's considered as one of the biggest cliffhangers of all time. That how Avengers 3 ended, and then there was no Avengers. Like, we had no other movies to explain what happened until the next Avengers movie that came out in 2019, which is called as Avengers Endgame. And in that, there is a time jump of 5 years. So now they are in 2023. It's around in October when the Battle of Earth happens. And right 2 weeks after that, the series that you are talking about, which is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sorry, the movie that you're talking about, Brave New World, just titled as New World Order. It's a connection, or it's basically the sequel to the series that came out after Avengers Endgame. And that series was called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's the transition of the Falcon character, who's a black guy who becomes the new face of Captain America. And there's nothing woke about that. People do hate on that character and that actor, but that's what happens in comics as well. So the reason I'm connecting all these things is because that series had the first episode titled as New World Order. And what does the New World Order what they were saying? They were saying about how the world is a mess, after a sudden surge of population, because for 5 years, Earth had half of the people, and suddenly the rest of the half, all those who were perished, have just somehow came back. So it's all about the geopolitical issues of, just imagine how the world would be a mess if half of the humanity has just vanished for 5 years and they just like came back out of nowhere. So they just explain those things. And what's interesting is that in that series, Falcon the Winter Soldier, and this came out in 2021, all the series got delayed due to the thing that we had in 2020. What's interesting is that in that series, they had a subplot of viruses, and that was taken out, and it was that the series was entirely stitched, and there were some reshoots, and they removed the entire subplot because it was getting too much similar to what was happening in the real life. That's how I would say eerie that was when I first saw that, because it was noticeable that they have taken out this scene from here and this scene from there. This screenplay doesn't make any sense. Like, why would the two main lead characters would be chasing down a trailer full of the Pokidokes.
There you go.
And that scene is never explained in the entire series. So yeah, it's interesting that happens in the series much often. And what's interesting, another thing is that the name of the fifth Avengers movie, which is coming out on. So I was wrong. I just checked that. I was wrong. The fifth movie is coming out on Pope Francis' birthday on 18th of December 2026. And the sixth movie is coming out on 17th of December 2027. So I got that wrong. It's the fifth one that is coming on Francis' birthday next year. And the same day, Dune, the third movie of Dune, is releasing on 18th of December. So, and the words, the title is what making me like a little bit cautious of what they are foreshadowing, what will happen. Like, is this some foreshadowing of war, like war or multiple wars that are going to happen in the next decade, like 2030s? But they often have these predictive programming in a much more subtle way. And what you were referring to, that the change of title of the fourth Captain America movie from New World Order to Brave New World Order, there was more than just the change. They changed the entire movie. That movie did perform very bad on the box office, but the original version of the movie was titled New World Order, and it also had a subplot of the Serpent Society, in which there was some WWE actor. I forgot his name is Seth Rollins. I don't follow much of WWE, but there were couple of WWE actors and people over there. So I just want. I know I'm going on and off topic, but I just wanted to ask you about the day when your X account was deleted, because that's something I didn't know if you ever covered that part.
I didn't even look into it like that. I was just very annoyed. But the 127 definitely stood out on the surface. So
I think I assumed that I till today I was thinking that it was on Kobe's death anniversary, and since you never covered that part, so I thought maybe I should let you know, because Kobe's death was 2 and 1 days before the Jesuit birthday.
It was deleted sometime either late January 26th or early January 27th, and I think it was the 27th because that's the day I got the email from X about being deleted and not being allowed to create a new. I have a channel on there, but it's not verified. I'm pretty sure if I verified the channel I currently had, it would be deleted. So, anyway.
And this happens, like, if you remember, I shared you the image of my 9/11 video getting deleted after 2 and 1 views within like an hour or something, because I was having breakfast and I was watching your video, your live stream, and from your live stream I figured out that my video was taken out. I didn't even know that. So
Yeah.
that happened very quickly.
Yeah. Your video on 9/11
yeah, anyway,
it was really well done. If you guys have not checked out his channel, D26 Creates, he's got a great video still up on and check out Open Up's channel where he's doing the AI video, something you didn't know. And check out D26 Creates. Again, video deserves way more views. And maybe it does. You just never know. I mean, they might be suppressing. I thought your Michael Jackson video, you did a nice tribute to Michael Jackson. I thought your Michael Jackson video was gonna be like a new mind-blowing decode, but I watched it and gave it a comment like I said I would. So,
Oh yeah, I didn't want to to be honest, I didn't want to make a video on that. I mentioned that I'm going to make it just a simple compilation of his videos. That's it.
I'll just
Maybe
remind
on
you,
his birthday,
Michael Jackson, the Moonwalker. In Gematria, Moonwalk equals 40. His 11th birthday was 40 days from the moon landing with Apollo 11. Just think about it, you guys. You think that's a coincidence? D26, I got to go get Sweet Girl, but closing thoughts?
Nothing for now. I would say I don't want to prolong this call. So yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you
I
for
hope
taking
things are
the
getting better
call.
for you over there. We appreciate you. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you too.
Take care. Okay. Yeah, somebody mentioned it earlier. Did they call in or did they leave it as a comment about taking a step back from videos and just trying to finish the books? And maybe it was Gematria 32 who said that. I've been thinking about that, but I really don't know how if I finish a book it's going to sell anything, because even when I was getting big views, the last time I put out books, I was getting pretty good views, so there was a lot of people to market the book to, and it still didn't sell that great. Now that there's just like no views, it's just like, and it is expensive to self-publish. It feels like another frustrating experience. Thank you again, Kiwi. New Zealand. Oh, you're New Zealand, right there by Australia geographically. All right, appreciate that. So those are the New Zealand dollars. Thank you, Kiwi. I've always heard New Zealand's a very beautiful place. Someday I'll have to visit there. Well, I do appreciate it. It's funny. It says there's 263 people watching, and we raised $56 before YouTube takes their 30% cut. And actually, I just read something. If any of you guys send money on Apple Pay. So like if you sent $10 on Apple Pay, YouTube would take 30% and Apple would take 30%. So if you sent 10, the person would get 4. Isn't that crazy? That's also why like the big tech likes this electronic world. All this money flying around, and they take a good sizable percentage of like every dollar circulating on the internet. Big tech just raking it in. But yeah, anyway, realized something. I gotta figure that out. All right, I gotta get Sweet Girl. Thanks again to everyone who hit the like and the share. And by the way, when you guys call in, I don't like to filter speech, but the lady who kept calling in and saying pokey doke injury, but she didn't say it the pokey doke way. I'm pretty sure that'll make sure that there's no chance that this video has any monetization. And on a video that's 3 hours, it'd probably make around $80 ad revenue. So by I hate to ask people to censor themselves, but that probably cost me about $80 by saying vax injury over and over. And yeah, so it is just something to be mindful of. This work's already not well enough funded, and YouTube goes all out of their way to minimize, but that will just like almost guarantee that that there is no monetization on this video. And again, like I said, to do the stream, I did have to pay for some extra child care, which is going to cost me about an extra $50 today. So again, there's just not a whole lot of financial support for doing the news stuff, but I do well with the sports stuff. So it's like I subsidize the news stuff with the sports stuff. But at the same time, I also say, if I just put more time into the sports, maybe I could build up the kind of resources where maybe we could put up billboards all over the place. So it is always on the back of my mind. However, I do this work more to expose what's going on in the news and with governments and all that. That is the primary focus. But like I realized years ago, without resources, this is never going to get to where it needs to be. And the news does not bring in the resources. So we will leave it there for now. Thank you again to everyone who did send away to support. I appreciate that. Hold on. Cam Newton's favorite fan wants to call in real quick. Real quick from the Cam Newton fan base. Then I got to get Sweet Girl. What's up, man?
Yo, just in light of Apple stock being 201
on the nose,
right now,
exact, yeah.
It's the New York Mets have a home run apple that they.
Oh yeah, the Big Apple.
Like,
yeah, it's the Big Apple in New York. It's like Eli Apple changed his name at Ohio State and then got drafted by New York. Yeah.
Right. It's 201 days after Pete Alonso's birthday. So I just find that funny.
Yeah.
They're big star player. Like, it's possible that he hits a home run.
Yeah.
And because when Mets hit a home run, like the home run apple goes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Oh yeah. Jobs. Because you know how Steve Jobs is associated with Apple? Jobs in the most simple cipher equals 46. It's 46 days after the Mets starter's birthday. So the Mets are doing some crazy Apple shit, like with this 201 shit. But that's pretty much all I got, man. And thanks for taking my call, and thanks for continuing to do this work. This is the fucking truth. And even outside of the numbers, like your rhetoric, just even if when you don't bring up like numbers at all, just like your rhetoric, like about how shit is like in society, it's like right on. So
well, I wish more people felt that way.
Zach, and peace.
Thanks, man. All right, you have a good day.
Yeah, peace.
All right, I do gotta go get Sweet Girl. You know what else is annoying too? Like even right now, I'm just watching my subs go down right now in the moment. You know, it's like yesterday, some video made the channel grow last night. It's like, oh, nice. It's going up pretty decently right now. Like, it went up like 20-some subs in an hour. So then I wake up this morning and I have like 50 less subs than I had when I went to bed. It's like, God, I hate YouTube, man. It's like, when something was going, I thought I'd wake up and it would be like it would have kept growing through the night. But no, it had a lot less than where it was before it started to grow. It's just, this platform, man, it's the worst. It's total suppression while promoting all the trash. And yeah, I hate to have you guys censor your speech. And that's why I didn't say anything. I was like, well, there goes any chance of this video earning anything. So, and it really is like that. I mean, like a video like this, and there's a good chance that she didn't say that. They're not going to allow it anyway. Or like I said, what they always do is they'll like demonetize the video. And then once it's done getting views, then you get an email. They're like, actually, your video is approved for monetization. It's like, okay, you guys do this every day. You think you'd stop demonetizing the video when they're all monetizable, but it's just a way to mock, and they know what they're doing. They know they're frustrated. It's not just me who's going through this. Almost everybody who speaks truth goes through the same thing. They demonetize your video. Once it doesn't get any views, it re-earns monetization. But guess what? You don't get any views. You don't earn anything for it. So, yeah, it's a sick game that big tech plays. It is. All right, guys. Thanks again, though. Even though the world's a messed up place, there's still plenty of beautiful things in it. So go out and find those things. Like, I'm going to go find Sweet Girl. Till next time, True Seeker.